Just do it! Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow. So just do it! Make your dreams come true! Just do it!
Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que pensar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres un no estás motivada y tú aburres mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Tú eres tan romántico molestando con una vipa. Me preguntas si te quiero. Yo te digo que no estoy lista y no quiero comenzar. No hay nada que empezar. Yo te dejaré atrás. Mientras gano más y más. No estás en mi nivel y tú no eres obligación. No estás motivada y tú aburres mi corazón. Eres un idiota sin inteligencia y razón. Entonces déjame tranquila mientras escriba tu canción. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Estoy aquí a disfrutar. Estoy aquí pero quiero gozar. Si quieres a mí pero vamos a bailar. Cintura a cintura papi tra tra tra. Bailando, gozando y me gusta tomar. Pero no quiero pendejos que no quieren respetar. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más. Déjame pendejo papi ya no más.
Ho, ho, ho! What is up, mi gente? It is your boy Luis Martinez, a.k.a. Big Chief Burrito, live with you on a hot-ass Thursday. Chula Vista, California. Mi Gente show, live and direct. Our guest is having a little bit of issue getting on. What's up, Lizzie? Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Business Lizzie. World-renowned Animal Crossing and Pokemon streamer. And top mod.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. Edwin Franco posted earlier, FUEGO. He's going to come back later. And David Fernandez, our guest, is having a little issue logging on, but he should be on here momentarily. When he gets here, we'll bring him on. But hey, everybody, thank you for stopping by. Mi Gente Show. Sofia Carrillo, my co-host.
Hola, hola mi gente. ¿Cómo está?
Is it still correct to say like my beautiful co-host, or is that just like not cool anymore to like do that with women?
That's interesting. I don't mind being called beautiful by you, so go for it. You are more than you have my consent.
Okay, yeah, you have my consent. All right, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I was just like, sometimes I'll be there'll be a woman guest, and I'll then I'll be like, well, let me introduce them without pointing out their looks, right?
Their looks, yeah,
a little bit,
I think it's safe. Yeah, it's a safe way to play it.
It's a safe play, but I still think that it's cool. Dizzy's about to pick up Splatoon 3, so hanging out till then. Ooh, there you go. I saw a little of that Splatoon.
I want to get into it. I kind of want to play it. I have a Switch.
You have a Switch?
I do.
You Switch World now?
Well, sort of. I don't use it as much as I should, but I have one. I am an owner of one.
Do you have the console or do you have the handheld?
Well, both. The handheld turns into a console.
The handheld turns into a console.
Oh, okay. You take out the things and then you put it. Oops, that's the dog.
It's a little bit of everything.
A little bit, yeah.
Little bit.
Oh, honey. I will mute myself if she does that again. Sorry, folks. But anyway, how's your day, Lou? How are you doing?
I'm all right. I mean, as well as anyone can be on this day that has been marred by the death of a monarch.
Yes.
Long live the Queen. The Queen is dead. Long live the King. King Charles now. Queen Elizabeth II passed away peacefully today. And Black and Irish Twitter rejoiced.
They did.
The symbol for colonialism, empire rule, the slave trade, so many horrible things, and white people in England are going through it right now.
They really are. I wore black in honor.
You wore, yes.
It was unintentional, but hey, I'm taking credit.
I wore black in.
You wore black.
Yeah. And you can say a lot of things about Queen Elizabeth II, but you can also say that she had a pedophile for a son, and she married her cousin.
Good.
And over the last 70 years, Britain occupied or colonialized or kept dozens of countries in Africa and Asia, and they occupied Ireland, bloody wars and occupations, and she was a symbol for a monarchy, which is kind of a thing of the past. She's a symbol for capitalism, etc., etc. She's dead now.
And yep, 96, I believe. Jeez, 70-year rule.
She's gone. All right, I see David. Hey, David made it in. He's in there. I see him. We're gonna bring you on in 2 seconds, David. We're finishing up the Queen's eulogy.
Yeah.
So I did want to share this, and we're gonna bring David Fernandez Jr. on, our guest, in a second. But I did want to share. Okay, so you're familiar with the Falklands, the War of the Falklands between Argentina and Britain, a little bit.
Yeah, but
a little bit. All right. So the only ones more petty than like Irish Twitter and like Senegalese and like African Twitter were the Argentinians.
Oh.
La vieja se murió, los ingleses lo tapan, está muerta.
I know.
Qué brazo tirado de la cama, la vieja de mierda.
They went off.
All out.
They said, íbamos a brindar y vamos a brindar. Popping champagne.
Tell me how you really feel. Damn.
Yeah, so they literally and then obviously the exchange was between Murió la vieja de mierda. And then the British and the Argentinians started going at each other. The Falklands, they were fought over these little piece of shit islands. And basically, one of the ones was like, oh wait, there was a rough one where it was like, you're still not getting your 700 soldiers back. So it was like, yeah, it was bad. It was cold. Anyway, long live the Queen is dead. Long live the King Charles. Like I said,
no, not long live.
I mean, that's what you say. The Queen is dead. Long live the Queen. The King is dead. Long live the King. Anyway, that's what happened in the world. So if you have your favorite Queen Elizabeth memories, feel free to share them. But the Gente show moves on. Our first guest tonight has been in countless films over his career, from End of Watch to Sons of Anarchy. He had his own film, A Father's Journey, which we saw as well. He's been featured at the San Diego Latino Film Festival, where I'm a part of. He's also close friends with some friends of mine that work with him on other films. And I've had him on the podcast on Fireside Chats when I first started, when I was still recording off stream. And so I wanted to bring him back on for the live experience one time. So please welcome Mr. David Fernandez Jr. to the show.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, brother. How you doing?
You made it.
Made it finally. Technical difficulties.
You got the iPad going.
Yeah.
Or however
you look great, David. Good to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you as well. Give me your name again.
Sophia.
All right, Sophia. Awesome.
Sophia.
Very nice to meet you.
So David, catch us up, man. We've been following you. You know, you're obviously San Diego local. You've made films here. You've been in LA. What's current with you? What is the? I saw that you were at the Clerks 3 premiere.
Yeah,
You were getting in a mix there with Kevin Smith and the peoples there. How did that go?
That was a blast. That was a blast. And I hadn't been to like a a big Hollywood premiere since the pandemic. So it was kind of cool to be back. And yeah, man, my highlight was the film. The film was hilarious. But Rosario Dawson, she's a beautiful soul, brother. Like I just was happy to be able to meet her, connect with her, and many others. But that was my highlight. She was just she's a beautiful heart, beautiful soul.
Oh.
Miss Rosario, yeah, no.
What did you two talk about, if we may ask?
Honestly, I just connected with her. I just met with her. I actually got a chance to tell her what I felt. Like I told her, you know what, like you're an amazing actor, but like you're an amazing human. Like you're just a beautiful person, and everything that you've done and what you're doing and what you're passionate about. And she was just very, she was very sweet and kind. It was like, oh, thank you so much. I was able to like see her, you know what I'm saying, and kind of let her know what I felt. So I thought that was really cool. And then everyone was dancing, having a good time at the after party or whatnot. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Is that the move though? When you're in those situations, you can't be like, you can't go for the picture right away. You can't be like, you just, hey, listen, hey, you just kind of smooth, right?
You know, brother, like for me, man, I'm just kind of like, if it's organic, if it feels natural, if it works out, cool. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Obviously in those type of situations, they already know that like they got to take the time and do that whole spiel. But I'm also not the type to like, I know they're getting hit up a lot, so I'm not that type either. You know what I mean? Like, cool. If the picture's taken, it's taken, and if not, like I got my memories, brother. Like nobody can take my memories. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how I approach it.
Yeah. I know, Sophia, you have some questions. You brushed up on Mr. Fernandez's filmography. I wanted to check in before I let you go on those. And how's Earn Your Life coming along? Are the projects associated with that, the app, everything going? How's that coming along?
Thank you for asking, my brother. Everything is going wonderful. It's a big venture. You know what I mean? It's a huge mountain. And so we've been climbing and just learning as we go. But we're building the premium app right now as we speak. It's going to be more interactive. There's going to be a lot more content. So throughout the years, I've been just producing content, acquiring content, and it's looking really good. I'm hoping by the end of this year, we can launch the premium app. But it'll be like the upgraded app that's already online, but it's completely, revamped. If that's
very cool.
Yeah. So it's going to be cool.
Have you been doing more interviews and stuff like that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's a lot of podcasts. My podcast is actually the one that kind of really hit for me. Like I got, in my analytics, I got about 56 countries like tuning in. I never thought in my wildest dreams a podcast would like hit like that for me. You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten a lot of love, a lot of feedback, and I've really had some amazing interviews with my guests. We really dive in, to mental health, emotional health, all kinds of, beautiful things when it comes to this life journey or whatnot. And I just want to capture the heart and the essence of my I'm hearing myself talk.
No, that was me. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's all good. No, I was just going to say, like, I like capturing their essence, like who they are, and to share their story. So that way people resonate with real. And so I get them to drop underneath the waterline, get vulnerable, get open. And that seems to be working, my brother. The love is the answer. The heart is the way, you know what I'm saying? So it's been awesome. So my podcast is what I've really been. It's been a real big surprise, especially during the pandemic. But it's all coming together, brother. I'm living the life of my dreams, man. And if I'm not, haven't reached those goals yet, I'm going for them. I want to accomplish all of it, as far as my personal goals and dreams and whatnot. So that's the journey I've been on, just to getting out of the way to be able to match that frequency to accomplish whatever I'm trying to accomplish.
Yeah. Is that the Earn Your Life podcast?
Yeah, that's the Earn Your Life podcast. It's like I said, it's beautiful. Like I keep them short, like 30, 35 minutes max, but we dive right on in from like the jump. We dive on in. So I really prep my guest, and I'm very choosy on who I bring on, so all of them have just dove right on in, felt comfortable, been vulnerable, been real, been open, and put their heart on the table, and that's all I ask for.
Do you think that I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Sophia.
No, I just wanted to say, and it's like a wide range of topics that they talk about. It's like weight, mental health, like everything, you name it. I was just wondering, like, how did that begin? I guess, how did you get into that?
Through my own experiences during the pandemic. So the last 7 years, I've been changing paradigms. I've been evolving and growing tremendously, and it's anytime that you go for a big dream or you visualize something that you're trying to attain that's big, it's gonna get you out of your comfort zone, and it's gonna force you to face yourself and look in the mirror and do the work that's needed to be able to like get out of your own way to accomplish those goals and dreams. So that's what it's been for me, and it got to a level where I dealt with anxiety and panic attacks. I never dealt with my mind the way I dealt with it this last couple of years, or it's been, I think, maybe like 3 years now, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me to go inside, and I had to go inside myself, and no more running. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was the scariest thing I ever went through, and the most beautiful thing I ever went through, because I got to know myself that much more. And I feel that my journey's been an interesting one in the sense of this. I know that I love supporting people. I know how it feels to go through struggle and pain, and I have a lot of empathy towards people, and I just want to see people win. I want to see people like happy. You know what I'm saying? So I think that everything that I've gone through is what supports me in supporting other people. So I think that's the beauty of it. And at the end of the day, one thing that I think has been a blessing for me is I've always been a giver. Growing up, like I didn't have, there was a lot of like pain and strife and domestic violence and, immigrant parents. It was a struggle. And so I always, we project, we always do what we would want for ourselves. Right. So I always gave, and I always gave without like expecting anything back. And little did I know at an early age, that was like one of the biggest blessings and gifts that I've realized in my life, is that and Tony Robbins says it's the secret to living is giving. And I truly believe that the energy that, of putting your heart out there, having that empathy and feeling someone else and wanting to love them up on whatever level, it's like it comes back 11-fold without you even like expecting it, realizing, or whatever the case is. So I think that that's a big one for me. And at the end of the day, the Earn Your Life podcast, I want to be able to be on the front lines. I want to be the courageous one that looks in the mirror, that runs towards the fears. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to do that. And trust me, be careful what you ask for, because it's been a wild ride. But, sometimes we have to go through all that to be able to level up and change the old from the old paradigm to the new paradigm, which is the most difficult thing to do for a lot of people. Hence why there's a lot of people that in this world that we stay in that cycle and we stay in that reality. You know what I'm saying? But I feel that I connect to Mother Earth a lot. I'm indigenous. I'm Pai extension of Kumeyaay Nation. So I'm really connected to Mother Earth, and I feel Mother Earth gives us all the answers in essence, right? Mother Earth is always working in cooperation. It's abundant. It flows, right? Water flows.
Yeah.
Everything it comes at the right time. When you plant the seed, it's going to take time for the seed to grow and to evolve into a beautiful whatever, tree, flower, whatever it is. And so I think that all the answers are there. We just kind of have to raise our level of awareness to be able to see. And once we're able to see with our heart and that awareness, then it's a beautiful journey, because you realize that everything's happening for you and that it's all divine, even all the ugly stuff, and that ugly stuff is like the lotus flower, right? It's gotta go through the mud. It's got to go through all that to burst out and become this beautiful flower. And so I think that that's what Earn Your Life is. It's just the journey, and just knowing that if you have a sense of community, people that love you and support you and see you in an authentic way, then you can't go wrong with that. You know,
Oh.
you're in alignment. You're in a good place when it comes to that. So earn your life. We talk about all that. We talk about all the ugliness, all the beautiful stuff in the ugliness. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
it really, if we don't go through that, then we don't level up. We got to
Mm-mm.
level. You know, for us to level up, we got to go through break through the old paradigm. You know what I'm saying? Like break through all the stuff. You know, all the
You got to go
limitations.
through the river of shit and come out clean on the other side, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, David, what do you think has helped you? Do you think it's a natural transition from acting to interviewing to podcasting, or did you have to kind of pull from different experience? Was it really natural to you, or did you have to kind of, or did you find yourself making any mistakes when you first started interviewing people?
You know what's crazy is that like I come from this belief system that as long as your heart's in the right place and your intention is good, you can't do it wrong. Like you really can't do it wrong. So if you were to listen to some of my episodes, right, like wherever it goes, it goes. You know what I'm saying? If I sneeze and the boogers come out, they come out. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's just I don't feel we could do it wrong. But to answer your question, like I'm a people person. I love connecting with people. So it was natural because it's like it was my world, my reality, and I'm bringing in the guests into my world and reality, and they're riding there with me. So it's a beautiful thing just to be able to be open and honest about whatever topic we talk about. So was it difficult? I think the most difficult thing was getting started because at first I was like podcast, like who's gonna listen to me talk with somebody like what? Like, you know, I'm old school, bro, right? So this is all new to me, all this whole technology stuff. So I was just like, oh man, I don't know. But then I got interviewed on this app that it's called Anchor that I use. And I saw how easy it was. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna give it a try. Because so many people would hit me up. They're like, dude, do a podcast. And I would resist it. And then finally, I finally did it,
Okay.
and I loved it. You know, so yeah, now I'm like 30 plus episodes in. It's wild.
One of the things that, and then I'll let you ask some more questions, Sophia. One of the things that you and I have spoken to about that was really interesting was that even though there's a lot of positivity in your messages and in the conversations that you have, there's also the counter to that, which is there's this, I don't want to say fake it till you make it, but there's this like no bad days, or like positive only, or
Toxic
this
positivity.
something like that. Yeah, but that's really unsustainable to be healthy. And I know we spoke a little bit about that, but can you just kind of go over a little bit what your approach is to that, allowing yourself to feel, to have a bad day, to be miserable, to go through that, and how necessary that is?
Yeah, you know what's funny is that like that's the perception of people, but if they actually were to listen to the podcast or listen to the episodes, it's the complete opposite of what you're talking about. That's what we talk about is all the crazy shit.
Well, I mean, more not necessarily as it directs to your podcast, but in terms of like the general sort of consensus of like, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, positivity only, and no bad days. You know what I mean? Not because I've listened to, I have the app and I've listened to some of your interviews and talk with people. No, but I'm just saying, like, how do you feel about that sort of like Sophia said, toxic positivity of like no bad days, only good, only good vibes, blah blah, something like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I got you. First of all, that's fake as fuck. But second of all, like it is deep because I've been asked that question a lot, and so that consensus is there, right? Because everything that I do post is positivity as far as awareness, right? A lot of people, all depending on their level of awareness, they might just see it as like, oh, be positive. But fuck no, man. It's the complete opposite. It's facing all of our shit and being held accountable, right? And taking responsibility. In this world, we're not taught to take responsibility for our shit. But here's my answer to those questions that always come up during these interviews, right? They always say, how can you be so positive? And I'm like, well, I choose to focus on the beautiful in all of it. Why? Because I know the darkness, my brother. I know the darkness very well. So the light is what I choose to focus on, because what we focus on will grow. So even in like the shit, there's beauty in it because it's forcing you to grow. It's always showing up for us, but a lot of us, we numb it, whether it's drugs, alcohol, sex, food, whatever it might be. We kind of numb and run away or not want to feel, right? Because feeling that doesn't feel good. It's not easy to feel those emotions. You know what I'm saying? But that's also the secret to being able to heal from mental health, you know, dealing with anxiety, whatever it is. That's the secret, is going through it, surrendering and getting on your knees and just literally feeling everything that you need to feel to be able to get that clarity wherever that clarity may lie. So there's another mentor of mine. His name's Bob Proctor. He transitioned not too long ago, and he got this from somebody else. I don't remember his name right now, but I'll say this. He says, the cave that you're afraid to enter holds the treasure that you seek. And it's so true, man. It's so true. Fear's an illusion, right? But it feels so real because we're in the three-dimensional experience. But we got to go dive into us, our being inside of this body. This body is not us. It's just a vessel for now, right? So the mind is a part of that physical reality. So at the end of the day, that transition is happening right now on this planet. We've already transitioned to 5D. That's why everything is showing up right now. That's why mental health is like rampant. I mean, I was literally on the phone last night at like 2 a.m. with one of my buddies because he's been in such fear vibration that now it's manifested in his body, and he wakes up with shakes. He's been dealing with anxiety and panic attacks. And the beautiful thing about it is, as we process, as we go through it and we dive in deep, he's discovering that it's all the subconscious fear that is coming up for him. And so now it's forced him to see all that stuff that he didn't want to see. And it's a beautiful thing because he's working through it. And it's like, damn, we don't need antidepressants. We need to go inside. But we're not taught that in this society. We're not taught to go inside. We're taught to go externally and try to get help externally. But that's why my mom has been on antidepressants for I don't know how many years, and she's still depressed. You know what I'm saying? Like, until she deals with herself, if that ever happens on her journey this time around, then it'll be beautiful. But if not, then yeah, she's it just numbs you out. So some people might need it, you know what I'm saying? Like, because once again, different levels of awareness, but I know that the answers are inside, and that's coming through walking the walk and going through all of that that I've been through the last 2-3 years.
Something interesting that you said that I just want to follow up on is going through the shit and allowing yourself to feel the feelings. I lost my father in June, who I was taking care of for a long time, and I sort of was playing this game where I was trying to outsmart grief. I was sort of I thought, because I have narcissistic tendencies. And so I always feel that I'm smarter than the situation or smarter than the thing. And I can see things clearly, and I think I can outsmart it. So I felt at the beginning that I was ahead of the process, that I wasn't feeling as sad or as bad as I should. And I wasn't really addressing the pain. I was sort of just trying to get through the pain. And then I had to literally go back to like square one because I was trying to get through it. And then I found myself like not being able to function, not even being able to work. And, it's been 6 weeks, Lou, you need to be over this. And I wasn't. There was something in my brain that was healing or wasn't able to heal. And I literally had to go back to ground zero and sort of start the process over again and let myself feel the things that I felt. And then I started realizing why I was in so much pain because, for example, one of the reasons that I love film so much was because I would watch tons of movies with my dad, and that's what made me want to make movies and things like that. So I'm feeling what you're saying in terms of going through the process. Do you find that in life sometimes we try to outsmart our feelings?
Absolutely, my brother.
Outsmart grief, outsmart the process, try to skip steps.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. So here's what I've learned, right? I can only share what I've learned is that and it starts ever since we're born, right? Even before we come out of the womb. But anytime that we feel pain, that something hurts us, we don't want to feel that again. So we put up a wall to protect us. And it's the ego. The ego is the trickster. The ego is the one that has us say, we got control. We got this. But it's an illusion. We have no control whatsoever. The mind, it's ego, it's the trickster, it's the rabbit hole, it's the illusion. The heart is who we are. It's our true essence. It's our spirit. It's who we are, the energy, the awareness, the collective awareness, right? So the consciousness. That's where the answers are. So even just what you said, you got to start at square one and just kind of go down to your heart. The heart has the answers. That's love. That's the ultimate vibration. The ultimate vibration, period. So at the end of the day, yeah, of course, we become master manipulators on how not to feel, because feeling is scary as fuck. So yeah, of course, our mind will tell us, yeah, we got this. But in reality, you can never run from the mirror. You can never run from our true emotions and our true feelings and the pain and the trauma and all of that, until we open that up and cleanse it with releasing, right? Because I mean, water's life. I love water. Why? Because we need water to clean our biggest organ externally, right? Take showers, right? Mm-hmm. But how do we clean our insides? Through crying, through vulnerability, through openness, through releasing. We're energy beings, right? We're energetic. And sometimes we get stuck energetically inside because we try to suppress it, or we try to avoid it, or we try to, right? And at the end of the day, I'll tell you, man, that I've seen this work over and over again. This work, meaning that I've been with organizations and nonprofits that create a safe space to really, really dive in to our heart space. And the minute, it just takes one person. There could be 500 people there, 200, 100, whatever. It takes that one courageous person to drop down to their hearts and be vulnerable and open and share their true feelings. It's like a domino effect. And I've been so blessed, because I'm getting a little emotional right now, because I really truly feel blessed with what I've experienced on my path, because I've seen 120 people in a room and we're going through it, man. And let's say we're dealing with like racism or any ism in the community, in this experience. And it took that one person to just drop down to their hearts. And it was like a domino effect. And then all of a sudden, within like 30, 40 minutes, you see so many things happening and the dynamics happening in that moment, where you see the empaths show up and they're hugging and loving and supporting that one person that's releasing and that's talking about whatever they were hurt when they were 7, 8 years old, whatever the case is. And then you see other ones that aren't comfortable in that situation, and that's okay too. And then all of a sudden, little by little, boom, boom, boom. I felt that too. I experienced that too. I can relate to that too. I always thought I was alone, but now I realize that somebody else went through the same thing, and not just one person, but it seems like the whole damn room. And that's to me, the biggest thing that I can share right now, right, is that we're all connected. On one level or another, pain is pain. It doesn't matter on what level. And when we realize as a collective community that we need each other, that we need that support, we need to love each other. How many times you've been able to have a connection with somebody and you just kind of share your heart, and then they share theirs, and you feel so close, like closer than maybe even some family members in your life, right? That's the beauty of sharing your heart. That's the medicine and the magic that happens when you're able to, share your true feelings inside. You realize that you're not alone. You realize that we really are in this together, and we're not separate, although it might feel like we're separate.
We're all one conscious. We're all one conscious experiencing itself, right? We're all you're all connected. I'm not a very religious person, but I do believe in the fact that there is like a massive subconscious, and that we are all connected, literally connected via threads that we don't see.
Yeah, you know what's so deep, my brother? I'd love to say this. Is like, I agree. I'm not religious either. I just feel my heart. love is the answer for me. That would be my religion if I had to put it on something, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that like, I think it's so beautiful where we're going right now, because especially even the internet, even like these platforms, like they're raising awareness on one level or another. But here's the beauty of it, is that like we're not taught, like the old systems that have been in place, they don't serve us on a human level, meaning that like our kids, like we're not teaching them financial literacy. We live in a financial world. We're not teaching them. I mean, look what I'm talking about right now. We got to take kids to a camp in the mountains, remove them from their environment so we could just try to do some healing. You know what I'm saying? We're not taught to express our feelings. The most important, to connect, interpersonal developments, personal development, all that emotional intelligence. We're not taught any of that. And we're drowning right now. We've been drowning. Look at the suicide rate. You know what I'm saying? When you feel that when you feel alone and like nobody really sees the real you, you're crying for help, but you're like in a clear bubble and nobody can see you. That's ultimate disconnection. And when you feel like that, trust me, I can understand the levels to get to suicide, because I've dealt, I don't know how many kids and adults that have been suicidal, and we've been able to do that work and bring them through. And they're still here on this planet right now as we speak, which is beautiful. And now a lot of them found their gifts and they're doing amazing work back into the community, into this planet. You know what I'm saying? So I think that like at the end of the day, all I'm trying to say is that things need to change and evolve. And I think it's happening slowly but surely. But we're definitely not teaching our kids and enriching our kids' lives with the systems that are in place right now. And we need to start developing more programs and more different type of education, because trust me, I was falling asleep when I was in high school. I'm not listening to no English, math, or science when I'm worried about how I'm going to get home or what I'm going to eat the next day. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I feel that like the minute that we start, you know, bringing that awareness, I think that a bigger shift will happen. And that shift needs to happen, because we're drowning right now collectively, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sophia.
Well, I wanted to. I guess I don't want to switch lanes too much, because this is some good shit, you guys. We're getting it.
We can,
Right.
we can.
Yeah,
I
I do have a question, because I was very interested. I mean, you're clearly a very like emotionally self-aware person. You are emotionally intelligent. You are empathetic. And because we are talking about evolving, I was wondering, like, and you are Latino, how has your journey been from, like, did you grow up in a machista environment, and how did you undo? Was there some deprogramming that took place? Like, how did you get here is what I want to know.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. So I'm going to share a story, and I'm going to make it as short as possible, but I'm going to hit the key points, all right?
Okay.
You got all the time in the world.
You
man.
got all the
Don't worry
time.
Camp Anytown. All right, cool. Camp Anytown, right, where we bring these kids up and we talk about all the isms. We were talking about the 5 levels of prejudice in that moment during that activity. And there was this one kid, his name was Philip Murphy. I still keep in touch with him till this day. And this is probably about 111 years ago, right? I was a kid. I was 19. And so I saw that he was going through some internal struggle. And I'm looking around. I was just like a support staff. My first time ever going to this camp. I'm like, dude, anybody looking at this? Because he's about to explode. I was able to recognize that, right? Because I was him and he was me. So then he snuck out of the community discussion, and I still looked around, and everybody was so involved in the discussion that nobody saw him leave. But I knew something was up. So I went out there to look for him. I turned around, went around the cabin or whatever, and I saw him. And he had his fist, and he was punching into the cabin on the wall. And he was yelling out. It was like he was in complete rage. So I ran to him. I grabbed him from the waist, pulled him from the, mind you, I'm 19 as a support staff. He's 18 as senior at that high school. It was SCPA, right? And so I brought him, pulled him from the thing, but my vocabulary turned into one word. No, I'm lying. 3 words. All I kept saying was, let it out, let it out, let it out. He was in this rage. He started punching his head, right? Finally, like after all that energy was released, we sat down on some rocks and he started crying. And that's where his healing journey began. He shared with me that he saw his friend get shot in the head and basically die in his lap in Skyline when he was 14 years old. He was 18 when he went to camp. So for 4 years, he didn't know how to deal with that. So what was he doing? Numbing himself with alcohol, drugs, womanizer, gangster, right? Living all that. He was self-destructing. Beautiful heart, beautiful soul. But during that stage in life, he was self-destructing. The counselors, directors came, whatever. They took him. They told me to go back in the discussion. I wasn't ready for that shit. It took every ounce of energy for me to hold him enough so he wouldn't really hurt himself that bad, right? In that moment. So I went up these stairs and I sat down. I grew up with a Mexican machista dad, right? From Tijuana, straight up. Ooh. I got whipped with belts, shit thrown at me. Like I had this thing where if my dad, he would hit me in the head and call me a stupid idiot. I remember having memories where I'm eating cereal in the morning. Out of nowhere, boom, he fucking hits me. I drop the spoon, the cereal, and I'm like caught off guard. And then he tells me, don't cry, be a man. So I got trained not to feel. And if I got hit in the head a certain way, oh my God. Growing up, I had this switch where I could have probably killed somebody, to be very honest with you, right? So anyways, now going back to when I went up the hill, in that moment, I was completely drained. And it was my time because I cried for the very first time in so many years. And when I was crying for my mom. I was crying for my dad. I was crying for myself. I was crying for my sister. After I released, I swear I was like on a drug, on some shroom trip or something. And I wasn't, right? But all of a sudden, like, I'm listening to the birds chirp. I'm feeling the wind. It was like some type of, I was like in euphoria. I don't know how to explain it, but it was a very peaceful, beautiful energy that I was feeling. And then I walked down. Finally, when I, gathered myself up, I'm walking down, and I started asking myself, it's like, what's something that would make me happy? And what came up was my dad never told me he loved me. So I want to get love from my dad. That's the decision that I made walking down that hill. Walking down that hill, the executive director said, you know what, David, we like you a lot, man. We want you to be a director for these camps. So I was blessed to direct those camps for 7 years, right? That was my real education. It was really awesome. It was called Camp Anytown. Here's my point to your question. That started my journey because going down the mountain, I'm like, dude, I'm just going to go give my dad a hug and tell him I love him. Mm-hmm. So I go to the house and I'm like, hey, Dad, I just want to tell you something, man. I felt weird, right? I felt awkward. It just wasn't something that I did with my dad. And I just tell him, hey, Dad, I just want to tell you I love you, Dad. Like, I want to give you a hug. And I gave him a hug, and it's like I was hugging a stone brick wall. Mm-hmm. I tell him I love you over the phone, hang up on me. It was very uncomfortable for him, okay? Yeah. It took years. I'm not joking. It took years, Sophia. Finally, one day I'm at the house, and we're having a good conversation. And I had done it enough, I think, that, like, he wanted to, like, love me. He just didn't know how, that he jumps at me. It was like a football tackle. Awkward as fuck. He jumps at me.
Yeah.
He kisses me on the cheek. And after he kisses me on the cheek, what do you think happened?
I want to say he said, I love you, but I feel like he might be like,
I wish.
Yeah, he walks away.
I wish, but this would happen. So he hugs me, kisses me on the cheek. And as he's moving away from me from that tackle, he says, ay, mijo, and he slaps the shit out of me.
What?
Check this out. So I was so happy. He fucking kissed me on the cheek that I didn't even feel the slap. But in that moment, I learned a beautiful lesson. I realized that nobody had loved my dad.
Yeah.
Nobody. And the little that I know about my dad's life, it's fucking dark as fuck. Right? Mm-hmm. So it clicked for me in that moment. I'm like, wow, my dad doesn't know how to love. He doesn't know how, say I love you, whatever, right? So I kept going at it. And at the beginning, those years, like, they were tough, right? Because I went into it like, I'm not going to expect shit. But, of course you want to get a hug back, but I wouldn't get it. But I didn't give up. I told myself, I'm going to give my dad's love. I don't give a shit what he does back. And that's what helped me keep going. Finally, that happened. That broke that ice. Mm-hmm. Now, me and my dad, hug and kiss anytime we want. And on the streets, it doesn't matter. And here's the beauty of it. He still hasn't changed. Like, he still has his addictions. He's still surviving. You know what I'm saying? But I can give him love, and he gives me love in return. Mm-hmm. And so that was a big part of me breaking the cycle. And one thing that I've always had too is I've had this like weird internal belief.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone's gonna say. Like, I don't give a shit. And I'm okay with rejection. And I'm okay with failing. And I'm okay with like fucking people telling me whatever the fuck's gonna tell me, right?
Yeah.
As long as I know my heart is in a good place and my intention is good. And so that's what helped me, you know, be able to get that love from my dad that I always wanted. It wasn't easy. It was a long road, but well worth it. Because if I would have stayed in that pain and I would have stayed in victim, right, I would have never gotten love from my dad on this beautiful planet that we're living on during this time period.
No.
I would have never gotten that from my dad. And my dad's got a beautiful heart too. He just got a lot of walls to protect his heart because he was hurt. He carries a lot of pain and trauma. And sometimes we're not even talking about our own personal trauma. We're talking about generational trauma. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I realized during this journey, and I'm done talking, is that on this basically, because I know I'm passionate about it, so I know I can talk a lot, is I realized through my journey that my purpose this time around in this planet now is to change my whole family's generational history. And once again, be careful what you ask for, because damn, you know what I'm saying? I've gotten tested on all levels, but I'm really proud to say that I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I just want to be able to share that, you know, and once again, like, what made my dad give me a hug and a kiss on the cheek? Love.
Yeah.
Love is the answer. It really is.
Finally.
You know? Huh?
How do you keep your podcast to under 30 minutes? You're verbose.
Because I'm not the one talking. I'm interviewing, bro.
Okay,
I'm asking questions. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. That's why it's easy. I just ask one question and I stay quiet as best as I can.
No, we are live, talking live with Mr. David Fernandez Jr. You can catch his podcast, Earn Your Life, on Apple Podcasts, or I'm assuming other places, or you can also download.
It's all over the place, Spotify, all that good stuff. Yeah,
you can download the Earn Your Life app, and it's got tips, meditations, got a whole bunch of stuff on there, tranquil images, sounds, advice for different things, different topics. I have it. I've used it in the past. It is awesome. So want to make sure if you guys can take a look at it. If you are watching us live, we are live with Mi Gente Show. I'll drop the social so you guys can follow us. And if you are watching live, make sure that you leave a like, leave a follow, ask a question, leave a comment for David or ourselves, and we will make sure we conversate. I do want to add to kind of what you were saying in terms of the generational trauma. I've had this. We were talking about fathers. Obviously, I lost my dad, and I've been going through a lot of stuff like that. It happened 3 months ago, but for some reason, it seems like it just happened, and it happened like years ago. It's, you know, and I have been lucky throughout my life that I never had that big of a loss in terms of a direct family member. I know we spoke about your losses and the things that sort of changed in your life a while ago for you, and we can touch on that as well. But another thing, the other side of that is I was talking to my mom, and you know, our relationship with women, our relationships are with women and men are based on our relationship with our mother and our father to some certain degree. And I had an issue of separation with my mother when I was a kid because of things that she was doing, and I wasn't able to go away with her. So that manifested itself in my life later on as me sort of being triggered when I would be ignored by girlfriends, or if they would communicate with me, or like, I know I had a girlfriend that ghosted me once, and that hit me super hard, and it was because I had abandonment issues. And then, you know, more and more recently with my mother, we started talking, and she's, you know, we spend a lot of time together, and we have a great relationship. But she's like, yeah, in a way, yes, you love me and I'm your mom, and you forgive me for the mistakes I made when I was then, but you really have to make a conscious effort to realize that your parents and your mothers are carrying this trauma that's generational from their ancestors and their ancestors before them, and that you have to literally forgive them and say, you gave birth to me, I am alive, and that is enough. And everything else, you know, we will deal with in some capacity. There's stuff that you deal with, stuff that you let go. And so, and you know, I'm just a year younger than you, so it's like, you know, it's hard to think that in your 40s you're still having these conversations with your parents and still learning and evolving from shit that you might, that, you know, my mom was very young. My mom was 17 when I was born. You know, she made tons of mistakes. But I consciously never felt like, oh, I'm mad at my mom. I always like a mama's boy. I'm the biggest fucking mama's boy there is. But even in those situations, there is still this trauma that gets passed on, and it hits you, and you have to at some point acknowledge it, let it go, and sort of try to heal. Uh-oh. Did David have a power outage?
No, somebody was calling me.
So,
Sorry.
Can you sort of speak on that a little bit, or how do you feel? How do you address something like that?
Yeah, you know, it's so deep for me. I think I was like 29 when I went through this experience. For me growing up with my mom, like I always, she was never emotionally available either, and she still to this day carries a lot of pain, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame, and I always like felt bad if I were to look back growing up. Like I felt like bad for my mom, so I loved her so much. And it was deep because I was going through this like deep session work, and this session work, like there's nowhere to hide. Like you get, it's like a community circle, and they focus on one person, and we do different types of exercises that really have you go to the deepest, darkest places. And it's hard to explain if you haven't experienced it, but the best way that I can share this experience with you right now is I was working in one of my brother's Keikoa, and I was holding a towel, he was holding a towel, and we started doing mom work. And so as I'm pulling the towel, the symbolically what was happening is that we were reliving the experience of me when I was 8 years old. We lived in like this one bedroom house, and my mom was in depression for 3 days. She didn't get out of bed for 3 days. As a matter of fact, like on the second or third day, and it was like the curtains were down. For like growing up, like I didn't like the curtains down. Like I always needed sunlight in my house. You know what I mean? Like, and because of that, and so she was in deep depression. Like she was finishing a bottle of like Bayer within a week, a Bayer aspirin. Like she was just in a really dark place, and I wanted to like somehow as a kid take her out of there, like rescue her. Right? I even had like the worst nightmare I ever had, where she showed up right on the edge of my bed, and she was waving goodbye to me, and she was like in the only dress that she had that I thought she was so beautiful, like she was literally waving goodbye to me. And I reached out, and it's like I think subconsciously I was scared to lose my mom. That was the worry, right? And so we're going through that experience where I'm trying to rescue my mom from that room. So sometimes you have to go to that scariest place, that scariest memory, to be able to heal. And so as I'm doing that, at the beginning, it's like, I love my mom. I don't feel anything bad about my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad because of her life. I wish that I could change her life, lottie. But then all of a sudden, as I'm going through that process, anger starts showing up. And I was able to release the true anger that I had with my mom. And it connected to the women that I attracted in my life. I always attracted wounded women that needed rescuing. So it was manifesting in that way. And so I realized that I was angry at my mom because, like, you got to understand, like, as a young kid, you could only come up with whatever you can come up with in that time period, right? But I was angry at my mom because why was she so weak? Why did she let my dad hit her? Like, why did she fucking, why was she letting this man fuck her up? Why couldn't you fucking pull yourself out of that room, right? Like, that's all the energy that was coming out during that experience. And I finally got clarity in that moment. And I was able to do major healing during that time because if I wouldn't have had those people love me up the way they did, and that's my family, my mentors, Be the Change movement. They're all over the world. They do beautiful work. They're healers. Anyways, so if I didn't have them to bring me to that level of awareness and do that internal work that needed to be done, I probably would still be attracting wounded women because I was proving myself right that women were weak when it's the complete opposite. They're fucking queens. But because of how I grew up, the trauma and everything, I remember I thought like I just felt bad for my mom. Like I had no anger towards her. But then I'm doing that fucking exercise. I'm doing that's fucking deep psychiatry, right? I'm getting down, and I realized I got to that realization where I was like, oh my God, I really was angry at my mom this whole time as a child because why wasn't she there for me? Why didn't she take care of me? You know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff. So that's the beauty of this work is, when you're able to dive in, like you discover and uncover so much, and you get to know yourself and why you show up the way you do, and so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? So I hope I explained it pretty well. It's hard to explain these exercises, man. I remember having one. I'll share this because it's so deep. I had this older lady. I was doing the session work for her, and she had been molested by her own cousin, own family member. And it got deep, man. But like, oh my God, I've done a lot of sweat lodges, temescales, where women are doing their healing too, man. That shit had me laid out on the ground. I couldn't even fucking take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, women are queens, man. Mother Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I call people kings and queens now. Like, I got into that mode because I want to bring everybody up. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are kings and queens. We are the co-creators of our own reality. Let's rise up, come together, and make this world the best world that we can make. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I'm at now. But damn, I had to do that work to be able to even wake up to that part. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How hard is it for somebody that for example, so you have this sort of savior complex, right? That you want to save your mom. So you find yourself, and I know this, I think from my brother and other people in my life, myself probably, that you are attracted to, or they are attracted to you because of that dynamic.
Mm-hmm.
How hard is it for you to, for example, realize, or for somebody to realize that they are in a relationship that's founded on that? So you're attracted to somebody that maybe she's got 2 kids, maybe she had an abusive ex-boyfriend, and you're sort of, you're sort of in that, but you're there. You're in the relationship now. You start doing some work, and you realize the reason me and you are together is because of this. Is that something where you can change the dynamic of the relationship and make it flourish, or do you have to do like a conscious uncoupling and sort of find somebody that's more fit to you? How does that work happen, David?
Yeah, I feel that obviously every situation is different, right? Because there's so many variables that come into play with that. That's a layered question, right? But for me, like what I would say is that just to even get to that place of questioning, right? Just to even get to that awareness of like, hey, I'm gonna reflect on why, or ask those questions. Why is this showing up for me? That's such a blessing to be in that space of awareness to even ask those type of questions. So even that question that you just asked, or this conversation, it's a very enlightened or aware conversation, because when you're in it, it's hard to really see. Until you kind of snap out of that circle and you look in, then you might be able to see a little bit better. But for me, if you were in that space and you did talk to your partner, it would all depend on if your partner's open to even reflecting and taking responsibility in her part in that as well. Because there's a reason why you match frequencies. And ultimately, at the end of the day, like, it's all divine, right? If we are willing to do the work or look at ourselves or look in the mirror, because it's all mirror work. Like, she's reflecting back to where you're really feeling. And here's a good example that I love to share. A woman, let's say she got hurt by a man or someone her age at like 14 years old, 12, 13, 14 years old, doesn't matter what age. And that woman never did worked. She never healed from that trauma. And once again, we're not taught this shit. No one's talking about this shit, right? So how are we supposed to even know? But you find that same girl that got hurt at 14 years old at age 35, and you get that woman in a room with 100 men, and 99 men out of the 100 are good, solid dudes. They're emotionally available. They're solid on different aspects of their life, careers, whatever. They're really, really good dudes. What you would want as a partner, right? Mm-hmm. And then you got one guy's a fucking player and a dick. Who do you think that woman walks out with out of those 100 men?
Sophia?
The dick.
The dick.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why? Tell me.
Because you're proving yourself right about your internal program. You are right about what you believe. When you got hurt at 14 years old, there's a decision that was made. Guys are dicks. Guys hurt me. They're not safe.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so the psychology's fucking twisted, right? Because if you were to ask any woman, they're gonna say, I want a guy that makes me feel safe, that values me, that's right. But is not conscious work, it's subconscious work. And that's everything that I've been talking about today. It's all subconscious. Now it's in the word, it's subconscious. You're not aware of it. Mm-hmm. And that's the programs that run us. It's like, have you ever been driving your car and you get out of your exit for 20 minutes and you're like, how the fuck did I even get here? And you got out of the right exit and everything. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
That's the real pilot. That's the subconscious paradigm. Yeah. Whenever your thoughts are going anywhere else and you're not focused, your subconscious kicks in to take care of you, and it's the programming that to take you to your destination. So going back to that example that I gave, the woman is proving herself right about guys are dicks, I can't trust them, whatever. That's why she matches frequencies with that one player and a dick out of those 100 guys. Mm-hmm. And so the cycle will continue until that healing work is done. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if I answered your question, my brother, but it would take two to tango. In other words, if you're on this journey all of a sudden where you're like, damn, oh my God, I realized I attracted her because of this reason and because of the complex or whatever. And then you tell her that, oh, it would be a blessing if she's like, oh my God, really? Damn, I might not understand that this is new information, but let's work through it, right? Usually it's oh, please, I don't even get what you're saying. What are you trying to play me for? And you go to victim, right? But that's the big one, is victim mindset and responsibility mindset. Most of us, because once again, we're not taught, we go to victim. Everything has happened to me. When we realize that we create all of it, we're the ones that have created all of it. We create and we attract and match frequencies with whoever we attract and match frequencies with. They will mirror back to you the shit that you don't like. And that shit that you don't like is the work that needs to be done. Wherever the resistance is, that's where the work needs to be done. So that's the craziness of all of it, right? But once again, the way I see it is we're on our different journey and we're in different stages of our journey or whatever. I just love to talk about it because I want to bring awareness. I want people to even start thinking oh man, what? What do you mean I create my own reality? What do you mean this happened because of me? Oh my God. It's the truth. All of it. And some of it, of course, we don't even want to take responsibility for, but all of it. It's all a reflection. It's all mirror work. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep.
Oh yeah.
Those are deep codependent relationships, and you have to be honest with yourself. All right, we're live here with Mr. David Fernandez Jr. You might know him from, oh my God, let's go down the list. Lowriders, Sons of Anarchy, End of Watch, Justified, right? Or a couple of other shows.
Selena on Netflix.
Selena.
How did you forget Selena, bro? Come on.
Well, as we call it, vegan Selena.
Oh my God.
That's funny,
did you ever try to hand her a donut? He's like, here, girl, come here.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Any difference in playing a real life character or somebody that's just on paper for you in terms of process?
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely. I've done it twice. One of them was a clear shot. It was based on the 1991 hostage crisis in Sacramento. It's actually the biggest hostage crisis till this date. And I actually, during the premiere, we went up there. We had the premiere because it was special up in Sacramento. And the person that I portrayed got killed in the incident, in the hostage crisis. And so I got a chance. I was signing posters or whatever before the movie, and I got a chance to meet his sister and her cousins or whatever. And like, she was very soft spoken, but she asked me, "Do you play so and so in the movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And I didn't know who she was. And she was like, "Oh, I'm his sister." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, reality fucking hit me in that moment.
Heavy.
Yeah.
It was deep, brother. It was deep. And then so just showed her love, whatever. And then after the movie, when I was watching the movie, because I had watched, this was the first time for me watching it as well. I was feeling and thinking like, fuck, man, like, how is it for her right now seeing her brother and having this see her brother get killed in the movie? And so afterwards, I'm looking for her. We did the Q&A, but afterward, I'm looking for her. And she found me from behind. She tapped me over the shoulder. I turned around. She gave me a big old hug, crying. And she's like, "You were just like my brother in the movie."
Wow.
I'm crying with her right there in that moment, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
there was
Yeah,
healing there.
course.
There was healing, like major healing, my brother. I still keep in touch with her. She follows me on Facebook. It'd be awesome if she was watching this right now. And so that was such a gift. And I hold it to like the most, it's so sacred for me, my brother. You know what I'm saying? And the other one was Selena. And I actually got a chance to talk to David Kramer. 4.5 hours, brother, talking to him.
Wow.
The first time he got on the phone, he's such a giving man, sweet soul. And he was a friend of the family. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't know this. If the new episodes come out, maybe everyone will know. But when she transitioned, Selena, he took over the boutique. He was literally the driver, personal bodyguard, and friend of the family with Abraham, her father. And he shared intimate stories about Selena that no one would know other than him and whoever else was there in those stories that he shared with me. And I felt so special because I felt like I got a chance to really get to know the real Selena through David Kramer's eyes. He cried during the phone, my brother. He was just, it reminded him, you know what I'm saying? And he also felt honored that he was going to be a part of the Selena story, you know what I'm saying? And it was a beautiful experience. But to answer your question, it's the most sacred thing that I can do as an actor. And it's been the most gratifying, the most beautiful. Like, if I don't ever act again, my life was made already through those two experiences. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I hope that I get a chance to portray more, but there's a big difference because the other process with the other characters, I'm bringing that character to life. With the ones that were real, there was two different sides of the spectrum because one had passed away, but I still did my research to honor him. And then, matter of fact, you know what's so crazy? When he passed away, I think he was like early 20s maybe, or even 20 or 19. My high school picture looks exactly like him. I didn't look like him now, like when I portrayed him, but my high school picture looked exactly like him. Dude, I'll have to send you the pictures side to side.
Absolutely.
You're gonna
What
be
high
like,
school
what the
did you
fuck,
go
bro?
to, by the way?
It's such a trip how that shit works out. I don't know how to explain it or what, but it was very, very special, man.
Oh,
We're live talking with David Fernandez Jr. here on Mi Gente show. Make sure that you guys are tuning in. Leave a comment, leave a like. It helps us out, and leave a rating if you're listening to this on the audio version anywhere you get your podcast. Also, check out the Earn Your Life podcast, as we've been talking about for Mr. Fernandez. You can download the app or just check out the Earn Your Life podcast. And of course, we could talk a million years about all the movies, the IMDb credits, the upcoming stuff that he's probably not allowed to talk about that's still filming, he's got the NDAs for.
Let's get him in trouble.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We do
You're
have
a little rebel. You're a little rebel.
I am.
I can tell. Trust me, I can tell.
I have one more acting question for you, and then I know that we have you for a short time, and then we'll let you go because we have another guest that was scheduled for the 10 o'clock hour, but he's here now, so I am going to bring him on the show And then the other thing I was going to tell you is that, that I was going to tell Sophia is like we should have David on for No Namez Wei, so he could he could be the. We have an anonymous advice portal where people submit questions, like advice, and I was like, David would be great one. Maybe we'll do one right before we let you go, David.
Right,
but
cool.
I want to bring our next guest on. Just say hi to him for a second. We have a couple more questions for David. We'll let him go, and then we'll keep talking with Edwin. So want to bring on here another. It's a San Diego evening. Another local talent that's starting the festival run with his new movie FUEGO. I'm gonna play the trailer and I'm gonna bring him on here in 2 seconds. All right?
Yeah.
I too tried salsa dancing. You did. Something new for once.
Sorry to bother you. We're actually one person short. Can you jump in?
Yeah. Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Okay. She just invite you back. She never does. No, she likes you. But I got my hand. Got the perfect spot.
Hello.
You do so much more. What else am I going to be an engineer like you? You find something you're passionate about.
I love that, man. That looks badass.
FUEGO, actor, writer, director, Mr. Edwin Frank Ortiz. What's up, brother?
Hey, dímelo, mi gente, ¿qué pasó? What's going on? What's going on, David? I like walked in. I like rushed from work to get over here. I was like, oh man, all right. Hopefully I wasn't interrupting. It sounded like you guys were having a deep conversation. I was like, oh shit, like I didn't know what.
Were you just gonna wait till 10 backstage, or were you like?
I was like, I don't know if they want to stay up till past 10. I was like, let me try to get on ASAP for you guys, because I appreciate you guys staying up for me. So, but nice to meet you, David. I was checking out your work right now too. I was like, oh,
thank you, my brother. Nice to meet you as well. I loved your trailer, brother. I want to see it.
Thank you. Hi, Sophia. I don't think we've
Hello,
met yet.
everyone. Welcome. No, I don't think so. Good meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Lovely
And
olive
Luis?
D tonight.
Karina saying,
Karina!
hey, everyone. We just saw your cousin on screen for a second, right? That's Karina's cousin, one of the dancers, I believe.
Karina's in the film as well, and her cousin.
Karina's
Oh,
in
yeah,
the-
yeah,
Oh,
Karina,
wow.
yeah, Karina's in the film too. Karina's in the
wow.
film. I try to put, so it's a short film. It's a proof of concept for the feature I'm developing right now. It's going through its film festival run right now. And
New York Latino Film Festival, right?
Yeah, New York. It's playing. It's going to be playing at the New York Latino Film Festival next Friday night. So I'm super excited. Fly out Monday, and I'm excited. This film was just kind of created just to start advertising myself out there, as a writer, director, actor, and it just kind of now became my San Diego film that I need to make. Like I was going to make this salsa film I was going to do in New York City. That was my goal and plan. But when I created it here and all the community that rallied behind it, it just doesn't make sense to like take this to New York City and build a whole new network when I have so much community support here in San Diego. I was like, I need to do it here. So right now it's just developing the feature screenplay, and then boom, getting ready to hopefully. Well, the goal is to film it in 2023. So
how long is the proof? How long is a proof of concept?
The short film is 22 minutes.
Oh, look at you!
Minutes.
So he's got
I know,
it in the background. He's posted
Yeah,
up.
marketing. I'm all about the marketing too.
Can we see a screener by any chance? Can we see a screener? Maybe a little link or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'd love to see it, brother.
Yeah, shoot that. I asked. I was like, hey, can I get a link? He's like, you can get the trailer. I was like,
oh, dang.
But David asked, and he's like, "Yeah, you got."
Yeah, right. Literally, I was like,
right away.
I was like,
Edwin.
anytime we can check the film out, he's like, you get the trailer, dog. You will
Wait,
go to a festival.
Marketing
Edwin, I got a
materials.
question for you, brother.
Hey,
I got a question. How come my agent didn't tell me about this project, bro?
oh man,
You didn't know David could dance too? He's
Bro,
got moves.
Bonito dance, bro. I've been getting down. I got moves.
Oh my god,
Man, I might have
thrown under
to-
the bus.
I'm trying, man. Well, when the feature film comes, we'll talk. I'm trying to develop as many. I'm trying to really make this a San Diego film to the fullest. Like I want, I really, really want. The net that I'm casting is not only like, well, the Latino community rally behind me. I'm Puerto Rican and Mexican, so I have like both, and especially the films based on my late father's passion for salsa. So it's it's kind of that connection there as well, especially within the Puerto Rican community. And of course, I'm half Mexican. Of course, this is like me showing San Diego and bringing in San Diego talent. So I'm really trying I feel like Jon Snow, right? Trying to unite all the kingdoms. I'm trying to unite like the whole dance community and the filmmaking community. That's like my next goal too, is like to reach out to all the filmmakers here in San Diego that I really want to bring on. So that way, everybody that I really want as many San Diegans to contribute to the film as much as possible.
You need to get David as the gorditos in the background getting down.
Hell yeah.
We need our cameo.
I get that comedic presence from you. I get that comedic presence from you. So I probably have to make.
What's that supposed to be?
Right.
What
I want to know is why.
He has that comedic.
Yeah. What I want to know is why I didn't see David in This Fool on Hulu. I was like, I was waiting to see you in one of those scenes.
I auditioned for it, and I callbacks and all that good stuff, but I didn't get it.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have. Yeah, you know, it happens, and that leads me to another question. I want to finish up with David before we jump into Edwin real quick. But we are gonna have Chris Estrada actually on the show in a couple of weeks. He agreed to come on, so we'll be talking more about that. Hey man, hopefully they get a season 2 because that show actually came out really hilarious. Yeah. Before we transition here to more local stuff and Edwin's project, David, I wanted to ask you because the show's Mi Gente show. We talk a lot about Latinidad. We talk about what it means to be Latino and kind of the different things. Oh, Karina says you could have seen a preview at his screenwriting workshop. Okay.
There you go.
But when I got to meet John Leguizamo, I asked him this, and I was like, you know, how were you able to step aside or turn down a lot of like the mobster, the drug dealer roles, stuff like that, to sort of make sure you had a varied career? When me and you have spoken, you've always said that you try to find something in those roles that you can accentuate, even if it is more of a stereotypical role. That as you move forward in your career, is that still your thought process, or do you think over the last couple of years with more of an emphasis on better representation and not seeing Latinos as a monolith, that has your thought process on those types of parts changed at all? And has your process of what you're looking and accepting or going out for changed?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, that's why I've worked less, to be very honest with you right now. But I think that I'm in a position now where I can choose. Before I wasn't in a position. I just had to be able to even become credible, right, and bring get enough, pay them my dues and get enough credits under my name. But at this point in my life, I want to tell my own stories. That's really where I'm at. I still have my manager, you know, publicist, agent, all that stuff working for me. But me, myself, I'm going to start getting ready to direct and produce my next film. And I'm excited about this one. Yeah. It's going to be really kind of like a, remember Freedom Riders?
Yes.
The movie Freedom Riders? But remember how I talked about Camp Anytown?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to do that. I want to highlight Camp Anytown, but be able to touch on all these topics and the diversity that comes with it through those lenses of those kids. So that's like the new movie that I'm starting to move on. Because don't get me wrong, man, when you set off as a director, you guys already know this, it takes 5 to 7 years of your life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I knew that when I made that next step again, it was going to have to be something that's really close to my heart, that I really want to tell that story and passionate about the story. And that's what is going to be coming next.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a face that I can still play a high schooler. So if you're looking into casting, you know, I feel like I have a face that I can still play a. What is that noise?
Sorry, I was about to share the link right now too.
No,
sorry.
No, that's cool. No, David, no, I understand. Yeah, because I think the last time that we talked probably was like almost at the beginning of the pandemic, so I kind of wanted to see what your thought process had evolved on that. And then what is obviously, I think almost like, I think that your thought process almost transcends like just basically it's because I think obviously one of the questions we like to ask our guests is, what does Latinidad mean to you? But I think you're almost in a position where from your emotions, it's almost like you're trying to transcend that into just human, you know? But at some level, it does have to play into it, right? Like, what role does kind of like the Latino experience play as part of that human experience for you?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm Latino, brother. You know what I'm saying? So just me being who I am is representing. You know what I'm saying? Like, as far as the touching on the culture and all that, that will be in the story. But I'm not. How do I explain it? I want to be able to tell authentic stories from my lenses, and that is who I am. So I don't have to do anything. I just have to show up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to show up in the writing. It's going to show up in the performance. It's going to show up in the story being told. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not really big on like, oh, we have to tell all Latino stories. No, man, no. Like, it's all built in the stories and the characters. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be able to tell our story through our characters in a very authentic way. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I think it's beautiful. Even, I don't know if you ever saw La Misión. Did you ever see La Misión?
It doesn't ring a bell.
No,
Right
Benjamin Pratt. See that's enough. Have you seen A Better Life?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So you can understand. La Misión was traditional, Pachuco or whatever, right? But if you see that movie, it had nothing to do with that. It had everything to do with the culture and the upbringing, and there's a lot of beautiful pride in it, right? And I thought it was powerful. I thought it was amazing. Benjamin Pratt was a director, producer, and his brother Peter as well. I thought it was a powerful story. You know who else was in it too? Is the brother from Blood In, Blood Out. One of the brothers.
Miklo? Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Not Miklo, not Benjamin Pratt, but the
third one.
Crucito, yeah, Crucito, him. I feel he's an amazing freaking actor. Like, I just think he's an amazing actor, and he's taking a stand on not portraying us in a negative light. I actually just saw a video interview on him, and I thought it was so beautiful.
Jesse Borrego,
yeah, and he broke it down, my brother. So I love that. And he himself, obviously, he's not working a lot of mainstream Hollywood either because of all the turndowns of the characters that they ask him to play. So we're all taking our own stand in our own way. I think at the end of the day, there's a lot more awareness happening, bro. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more. Yeah. There's a lot more stories being told. Even on the Disney animation, we had Coco. We have a lot of. It's happening. It's happening. So it's all part of the process. You know.
Kenneth Castillo, Jesse Borrego, fool. Yeah, Kenneth. Thanks. we figured it out.
Oh, is that Kenneth? That's
Kenneth.
Kenneth, I love it. Kenneth, we gotta go golfing, baby. He's a director, man. He's directed like 3 or 4 movies. And he's amazing, man. Like, this brother is a director. Like, inside out. Like, when you work for him, like, you don't have to worry about nothing because you're just like, okay, I get to show up and just play. You know what I'm saying? I get to express and play and and bring my character to life. And he just knows he's badass. Not only because he's my friend, but he's a badass. You know what I'm saying?
Calling me fool.
I mean, he does that golf.
Hell yeah.
That's besides the point. We'll talk about it another day.
No, I've had I had Kenneth on Fireside Chats several months back. Yeah. We had a great interview. We talked. We've worked with some of the same actors. We know you, Jose Gente, other actors and stuff that we work.
So we got to get you out. We got to get you out there golfing too, brother. Because
I'm on it.
Oh, bro, you get out there once, you're gonna be hooked, bro.
I used to fuck
I might lose my life, all my career, and everything because of golf, bro. It's so damn addicting, bro.
I got clubs. And I used to hit the pitch and putt back in the day. So I got my short game's good.
Next week, I'm taking you out, bro.
I'm down. I'm on it. I'm down on it. All right, I had one more silly question for you, David. If you could do a what did he say? He said tea time is just as important as call time. Yeah, we got it.
Mm-hmm.
He's banging on me. I love it. I love it.
David, one more question for you from me. This is a dumb one, but if there was a origin story on one of the characters that you've played in any of the projects or films that you could do, what would if they're going to make a feature about a character, even if it's a small character that you played in any of the films you've been or shows you've been on, what would you want it to be? Would it be like The Rise of Spooky, or would it be like?
Let me think.
You can't say A Father's Journey Part 2.
You know what character I think was beautiful, but like the obviously I was just co-starring, so there wasn't any development in my character, and I feel my character could have even been brought back. But that same character got me out of Mayans, to be honest with you. It was a character in Sons of Anarchy, and I love that character because I was just like a hardworking dad taking care of his family that got caught up by the cartel and loses my sister. As a matter of fact, my sister was Cristela Alonso. I don't know if you guys knew that. She's a big time comedian. She was the first woman to have her own TV sitcom. Like she's a badass. But anyways, that character, and I like that character a lot because I was able to show vulnerability. And if we were to get a backstory on it, man, like I think it'd be pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? So I think that one. Sorry, it wasn't funny. I take it. No, that was funny. But yeah, no, I don't know, bro. Silly one. Okay, I'll tell you this. So maybe I should, or I don't know if I should. I will.
Okay, do it.
I'm just gonna say it's possible. It's like potential, right? Fluffy and me as Tijuana cops, and our Tijuana our cop car is a Volkswagen Bug.
Okay.
So that'll be cool. Yeah. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. I love comedy. I just don't get a chance to do enough of it. So I guess I'm gonna have to write it. But that's one potential right there. Now imagine that. Just even our uniforms, bro. Trying to get into a little Volkswagen. That's what it is, right? A Volkswagen Bug, like the little ones.
Yeah.
I got pictures, bro. I got pictures.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh, I hope I don't get in trouble. Delete this part.
All right, we're gonna let me write that. Let me cut that. Let me write the timestamp now. All right, well we've been live here with David Fernandez Jr. Mi Gente show. Listen to us. You'll be able to listen to this podcast audio only. Starting what is this? We usually lose them on Sunday morning or Monday morning, so you'll be able to listen to this audio only. We stream live Thursday evenings, 8 p.m. across all the 2 a.m. Burrito channels, youtube.com/2 a.m. Burrito, facebook.com/2 a.m. Burrito, and we also are on twitch.tv/2 a.m. Burrito. Live with Mr. David Fernandez. David, earn your life. What is the next thing where will we see you next on the big screen?
Repeater, I think, is next. Repeater. And bro, you know what's so crazy? These movies we do like 2, 3, 4 years, and then I do a lot of them. So I look at my IMDb because right now the only one that I can think of is Repeater. But I think I got others as well.
You got Day Labor, Repeater, Final Bow, Clue.
Those all went to cons. Day Labor and Repeater went to Cannes Film Festival.
Nice.
Okay.
So they're getting distribution. So that'll be theatrical, whatever. It's gonna be cool. So so those, and then I just did 2 other ones, and then I got another one in October. So it's gonna be fun.
Currency.
He's hustling.
He's on it. He's on it.
Yeah. I get blessed, man. I get a lot of callbacks, which is cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, shit. If they need a stand-in, I think I can.
There
you go.
My double, bro.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank David Fernandez Jr. for stopping by the show. Make sure you guys go download their In Your Life app. Check him out. You'll be able to watch his filmography there. You're always welcome to come back on the show anytime you want, man. Yeah. Open invite. So we're going to be hanging around. If you get bored, you can always drop back in.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. Very nice to meet you, Sophia. Edwin, I wish you the best on your project, my brother.
Yeah.
Keep shining, King. All you guys, King and Queens, keep rising up, all right? I love you guys.
All right, David. Peace out.
Yeah. All right, bye.
All right, peace out, David. God. All right, that was David Fernandez Jr. That was a good interview, right?
What a beautiful soul. My God.
Let me remove him here from the... There you go.
There we go.
There we go. Right, and then there were 3.
Hi, Edwin.
Hey, what's going on, Sophia?
How you doing in this heat?
Ooh. I have like 2 fans going on, so I just in case I couldn't hear you guys, I have to put on these headphones. That way these fans don't overshadow you guys.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
Stay cool.
how about you guys?
I was telling Sophia earlier before we got on that my power went out Saturday and Sunday last week.
Ooh.
So like right now I turned my fan off because like if I could get through that night, I can get through pretty much anything because it was literally the hottest day ever recorded in Chula Vista temperature wise, the hottest day. It broke records for the hottest day in Chula Vista. And right at like 7:30 at night, our power went out. It didn't come back on till 3:30 p.m. the next day. So that whole night and the next day, all out of power. And then it was on for 4 hours, and then it went back out again till the next day.
You're in Chula Vista as well?
Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, I'm right by Hilltop High School, right
And
down the block.
you too, Sophia?
Yeah, I'm in Main Street. Yeah.
Oh, nice. So I'm in San Isidro. So
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Real close. Nice.
It's a South Bay episode.
You're an
And
exit away.
yeah. Off like Dairy Mart.
Yeah.
all right, I used to live right by Dairy Mart, right by the McDonald's, right up the block right there.
My office is right there at Starbucks. Like every morning,
sweet.
wake up, I walk to that Starbucks and Dairy Mart, and like I'm in the zone, just reading or writing. So,
But you work on Third Avenue too, or I saw you're on Third Avenue, or do you just have a? Is that
man,
just like
that used to be my other spot. That used to be my brew bar. It was like a piano bar / coffee shop, and I used to love going there. They had live music in the evenings, and shout out to the owner Alex and all the musicians I met from there. That I put in Fuego as well. Like everybody I meet, I try to put in Fuego. But Third Ave, no, it's like one of my favorite places to go support. So right now it's Grindhouse. That's one of my other favorite coffee shops I love going to. I just love taking meetings. Like I love meeting people. If it's regarding a gig, I just set up meetings at coffee shops, preferably like independent coffee shops. Like tomorrow I'll be in Barrio Logan at the Chiquita Cafe.
Oh, good.
I don't know if you guys ever been there. It's like that nice little pink. It's like a nice pink cafe with epic decorations. But
seriously, Edwin, how are you doing about the Queen?
Which Queen?
Yeah, exactly.
Queen Elizabeth.
The Queen.
Are you doing all right? Are you doing okay? I mean, the Queen.
Man, how honest can I be?
brutally, please.
Man. Shoot.
Well, Irish Twitter's going off. Well,
I don't want to touch that subject.
All right. Well,
I think you caught me off guard with the Queen.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay.
Well,
rest in peace, the Queen. Rest in peace.
You've joined us on the back end of the show, where we usually clear out some tabs and we talk about the news of the week. So we want to talk a little bit about your movie and the process, but you are welcome to stick around because this is kind of the part of the show where we do that and react because we're gonna be throwing out some talk about some stuff that's ongoing right now. So you're more than welcome to hang out and talk about that. But real quick, let's just get some stuff out of the way here. So I did see another film of yours that was at the festival last year, which was the documentary sort of.
What's Your Hustle? Shout out to Johnny De La Cruz of Muscle T. What's Your Hustle platform? What's Your Hustle, right? Yeah, and another episode just released that's also playing at the New York Latino Film Festival. So hey, Elia, how's it going? So I have another documentary also playing at the New York Latino Film Festival as well. So there's Fuego, my narrative film. And then there's the documentary with the same platform, Muscle T. Shout out to Johnny.
What was what is the difference for you between narrative and documentary in terms of the planning, production? Is anyone more tedious than the other? The reason I'm asking is that when we study film, we sort of, narrative is your obviously interpretation of your own stories and what you want to tell. But sometimes when you're doing a documentary, there is a theory that once you start recording something, you change its environment. So, it's almost kind of impossible to make a true documentary about a subject because once you start the cameras rolling, they're immediately changed by the fact that there's cameras on them. So do you feel that, or do you approach each of those differently?
I approach exactly. So, so working with these, documentary, right? what's going to be different about this documentary than the one you saw last year at the San Diego Latino Film Festival is I'm actually including the CEO of the brand as well. And he wasn't, and I didn't want him to be aware that he's usually my host asking the questions, but this time I want to try something different for the sake that I know that he's establishing himself as a talent to go to as well, being a face for his brand. And so I included him. So we had like a 3-camera setup, and I only gave directions to my man's Margaricas, my main cinematographer. And I was telling him, so we had 2 stationary cameras on the main subject. And then Johnny, being our host, we had that 3rd camera floating around. So when we would capture him asking the questions, and then that camera would just kind of like get different angles, various angles. So it looks like that makes it look like we're everywhere. And it's pretty dope. It's in New York City,
Floating.
rooftop. Yeah, just floating around. But my goal is, that I'm very aware of that. So I try my best to give like subtle cues to the cinematographer that we're rolling, or when we're rolling, I don't want the talent to be aware that we're rolling. I just want them to really be in the zone and be in the conversation with me, be in the moment. That's very important to me as kind of similar, actually, even in narrative, like I really try to warm the actors up as well, and having them be in the moment. That, like just forget the cameras are rolling, just get in character and just warm up with me, and then we go from there.
Well, Edwin, if you shoot the rehearsal, it's not a rehearsal. You know what I'm saying? Let's shoot the rehearsal. Then it's not a rehearsal.
Did I say rehearse? Let me scratch that. It's not a rehearsal. You're right. We already rehearsed. The rehearsals are already done without the cameras. Yeah. But once we're rolling, like I want the characters to be in the moment already. Like they already rehearsed it, so we're ready to go. And then the first take is always the ones that like they have to like just get it out, their nerves out the way, and then boom, okay, go, moving on to the close-ups or so.
How long did it take you to? I know that Fuego's a very personal story. Since you're talking about music, you're talking about culture, you're talking about father-son relationship. How long had that been running around in your head, and how long did it take you for it to germinate enough that you were able to put it down on paper?
Man, okay, so the whole story there. So I watched In the Heights. Love that movie. Watched In the Heights last year in August. And so I just knew the next thing I needed to do for my creative portfolio was do narrative content, right? Like I already did music videos, commercials, and documentaries, but I didn't have any narrative content. So if I want to direct In the Heights, I needed something to show for it. And so that's when I started developing an idea. And I already had ideas. I have various ideas, right? As a creator, you're always going to have, oh, thank you, creator. I love creator. You're always going to have ideas, right? But then there's a lot that's happening. I'm very easily influenced by what's happening in my life at that moment, right? So so I want to do a salsa film. I want to do one in New York City. That was like my goal. That's where salsa started. So I wanted to do in New York City, and that's where my dad was born, and it just made sense. And then I want to do a film on Third Ave, actually. Like I wanted to do a film on the quinceañera culture, fashion graffiti artist that I was going to create a character just on that concept, because I was very intrigued by Third Ave, but however, like I was like, dang, I don't have a short film. It's already, I get a little too ambitious sometimes. So I thought like, I'm going to do my goal of last year was to do a feature film, but I didn't have a screenplay ready. So, and the person I was working with, or I was kind of relying on to help me bring my screenplay to life, he moved to Europe, and I had to just kind of like, well, I've been sitting on this book, Save the Cat, forever. Let me read that book and let me see if it has the answers for me to bring my idea to life. And so I read Save the Cat. Then I had another book recommendation, The Writer's Journey. And so here I am reading these 2 books and fleshing out my feelings, the meanings, the character archetypes, like who these characters should represent. And more importantly, so there was also another event that was happening in my life, which was as motivated and passionate as I am pursuing my goals, I try to help my circle and my community grow as well, but starting with my siblings. And there's some close friends, and including my siblings, that are very stubborn. who don't feel like they could do more than they can now, and that kind of like bothered me. So of course, like, man, like, how can I help my community grow if I can't even help my own brother grow, right? So I just kind of channeled those feelings into these feelings channeled into this film, and then I decided, like, okay, and then, you know, layers by layers, right? That was kind of the central theme, was like creating a story to inspire people to pursue their fuego, their passions, their ambitions. That's kind of what I define as fuego, and then I started using elements of my life, like, cool, you know, like, shit, well, you know, salsa dancing, showing culture, right? And then educating people on certain elements. Like, it always makes me, I always enjoy when people that don't know what coquito is, they always want coquito based on when they see the film. Coquito's Puerto Rican spiked eggnog, if you guys don't know what it is. But it's tied into the bartender's tool set. And I love it when people are saying, like, dang, I want to try coquito, like, after that. And, you know, taking a page out of Crazy Rich Asians.
I grew up in Queens and on the Upper West Side. Many coquito have been had.
Many
Okay.
coquitos.
Many
Oh,
coquito.
okay, you know some of the East Coast. So I took a page out of, like, I also love Crazy Rich Asians. Like, I love what they did with their film,
yes.
Asian representation. And then there's a lot of things that the director is showing you, like, kind of educating you on his culture and places to eat it. And then even the game that was included at the end, I have no idea what game they're playing, but I'm very intrigued by, like, wow, that's cool. Like, you know, like, you know, it's like not on the nose, but he's showing you his culture. And I thought, like, man, I took a page from that book. It's like, there's things that I know people aren't familiar with within Puerto Rican culture, and I want to showcase that. As I was running, I run like almost every other 2 days, and that's when I do the most meditating. And I just remember just thinking about, like, my father, like, how much of my influences are based on my father's passions, like his films, his favorite movies. I haven't seen a good salsa film since Dance With Me. And that was like with Cheyenne and Vanessa Williams back in the 90s, early 90s. And that was my dad's favorite, like not the ballroom aspect, but the scenes where they went and danced in the club in Miami. And he used to express how much joy, like, those scenes, he just expressed how much joy those scenes brought him. And I haven't seen a salsa film that captured that in a while. And I just knew that just moving forward with salsa, like, dang, you know what? Like, when I was going to USC, I was introduced to the salsa world, the social dance world, and I didn't even know it existed until my my co-producer on the film, she introduced one of my best friends I met at USC first semester. She's like, "Oh, you're Puerto Rican? You know how to dance salsa? Hey, you got to come out to this social event." And I go, and I was like, "Oh, what do these people know about salsa?" Right? So I go, and I'm like, "Damn, they know more than me," you know. So I start. So then that, like, bothered me. Like, damn, you know, I'm like, I'm half Puerto Rican. I don't even know how to dance salsa. So I was like, it was in the back of my head, like, man, I need to learn salsa. And so eventually, here's this film that comes along, and I knew that I was going to hire, like, a salsa teacher, and I didn't realize this film will, like, kickstart my passion for dance again. So in the theater world, I'm known for dancing. There's this play called La Pastorela that I play a breakdancing angel for. Shout out to Teatro Mágica with Dave Rivas and Reese Green, Willie Green, and directed by William Virtus. And it's a play I love doing. I get to choreograph the numbers, and I get to dance my ass off. And that's what people know me more as a dancer, as an actor dancer. But I have not done anything that highlights those talents in film. And so here I am. That's the next layer. So if you're wondering where the salsa element came from, it's like, cool, I have to showcase my dance talents now. But anyway, so all this is happening. I go back to working at the bar September. So now I add that element in there. And then I just remember that the final piece, right? So in the trailer, that's actually my actual dad and mom dancing. I don't know if you guys know that, but that VHS footage, that's my dad's actual VHS footage from when he was in the Navy, when he used to, like, record and edit. So I used his, like, footage, and I just remember that was, like, the final piece I needed to just kind of really kick off the story, which was pursuing that happiness. And my dad, if anybody that knew my dad, salsa was his life. He loved music and dancing more than us, I feel like sometimes. And And I just remember watching this video with family, and just that one moment, seeing him smile, I was like, man, like if anybody didn't know this man, they could clearly tell this person is happy doing what he does. And then at the same time, here I am developing Fuego, and I'm like, maybe, you know what? Maybe that's what my character is trying to pursue as well. And so I just added that, and it just kind of worked. Everything just started to flow, just the whole development process. And once I felt like that kickstarted all the ideas and kind of weaved up all the scenes and the plot together, I was ready to go. I was ready to film, and then ready to write it. Sorry, ready to write it. And I had till November 18th to write it because I was already planned my production dates for December 18th through the.
Damn.
Oh wow! You planned the production dates before the writing.
What draft?
I knew
did
I
you
was going
shoot?
to have it done. I knew I had a final draft. I knew I was going to have the.
Well, no. I'm saying let's ask some pertinent indie questions here. What draft of the script did you shoot? Like how many drafts? How many drafts? No,
final. Wow.
Two drafts.
2 drafts.
There's a second.
Yeah.
So you shot the second draft.
The second draft with very minor changes, but the first draft was like solid. Like, you know, and I have like people I can rely on to, if the script sucked, they would have told me it sucked. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like I have very good close friends that I listen to that especially like my cinematographer, you know, like all I needed to hear was like he loved it. And he told me to shut up. I remember Mark Rica, shout out to Mark Rica. I remember he was one of the first 2 people I needed to read it because he was going to be my cinematographer for it. And he's brutally honest with me. Right. So, and
please tell me somebody calls him Strawberry.
Mark Rica?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Do people call him Strawberry?
Why? That's the story. I gotta bring.
No. Because if every time people bring up his name, I'm like, people call him Strawberry, right? And they're like, no. I'm like, why would it Strawberry Margarita?
Oh,
I was like, I would call him Strawberry every day for the rest of his life. I'd be like, what's up, Strawberry?
Oh, like, man, that's hilarious.
Strawberry
Margarita. When you deliver that joke, you have to say the full name.
Strawberry
Margarita.
That's funny.
What do you have? I'll have one of those guys. You know, I'm sorry. I mean, I've never met Strawberry. I mean, I've never met Margarita. Shout out Margarita. But every time I've heard that dude's name, I'm always like, I bet his nickname is Strawberry.
So we have him on the show and then change his name as Strawberry.
Strawberry.
Yeah. That's hilarious. So yeah, I had a strict deadline, right? So I knew that deadline was coming November 18th, because a good month is enough time for me to produce and direct something. But what I didn't take into account, knowing that I was now being an actor, I was putting a lot on my plate within a month. So. But however, you know, I did it. but so November 18th November 17th is when I had the proofreaders read it, and they caught the little errors. Oh, that's okay. There you go. So the first drafts when I had to proofread, and then they caught little small errors. Like, is it supposed to be this name? I was like, oh, you know what? I messed that up. Cool. And then the final draft was like, cool. This is what I'm filming. The people who read it that I needed to read it loved it, and I kind of was testing the waters. Like, you know what? I was like, you know what? Well, let me send it out to like strangers. Let me send it out to like people who don't know me, you know, and really, because I was even though I put my heart into this like project, and I still didn't believe that I wrote a good screenplay. Let me send it out to, you know, the person I had, New York City, Mark Rain out in New York. If you know, the one I want to cast as my brother in the film, if he loved it. He didn't know me, and we just crossed paths in the New York Latino Film Festival last year. And I was like, you know what, let me send it to him. And he loved it, jumped on a phone call, and I was like, I want to cast you as the brother. Cool. And then flew him out here, and yeah, the rest is history.
That's a tight work process for an indie. I think that probably speaks, especially if your background is in video and documentary, that you probably took some of those sensibilities of like organization and like scheduling and stuff like that. And that because I usually recommend people, you know, don't shoot anything before the third draft. And then give yourself time for if it's first, especially if it's one of your first narratives. But you seem to have been able to take kind of like, it's not like most people's first narrative where they're going to be making some more mistakes. I think that it shows from the trailer that you put some quality on the screen.
Have my baby Edwin Conrad.
Yeah, I was about to say we have our first. Yeah. All right. He says you got a sub on YouTube, Conrad, and think about it.
He didn't say no.
He didn't say no. He didn't say no.
I don't know who it is. I'm like wondering who that is right now.
So I guess what I'm saying is it seems like you've taken what you've learned in your other genres and you've brought it, because that seems like a tight schedule and like a very quick turnaround from script to, all right, you like the script, let's shoot them,
I've been put in some tough positions as a director where I had to deliver like out of not by choice, but like as a director, I had to come up with the shot list for like a 40-minute show. And and the thing about the show was like, I understand, my assignment was like, okay, I'm not directing the show, I'm bringing the show to the screen. It was a play. And so I had
by
to
the way,
create...
Conrad just subscribed, so you have to have his baby. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I had to create a shot list within a week, and then I had to multicam direct, and like I realized like, oh, okay, I was what I was capable of under like a week time crunch, right? Now it wasn't in my control at all, but seeing that I was able to put in the work and make it happen, I was like, oh, you know what, cool. That took me a week. I can only imagine when I do when I have control over what I'm doing. And I have a month to create a shot list. Like, cool, like it should be no problem. I'm gonna have 3 cameras anyway. I'm gonna have 3 cameras.
Oh, you shot 3 cameras?
I shot with 3 cameras. I shot with 3 cameras for sure. So I had like we had our steady cam, and then we have 2 stationaries. I'm telling you, I'm very ambitious. So with that experience, it's like, you know what I was also inspired by? So I love Damien Chazelle, right? Director of Whiplash and La La Land. I always thought to myself, like, man, I could make the Puerto Rican version of La La Land, with salsa music.
Yeah.
But he started his journey off as with a short film. Whiplash started off as a short film, and boom, kicks off.
Right, San Diego,
the rest is history.
Mhm.
I wish. I don't know if you know.
No, Whiplash opened at San Diego International. Sorry.
Oh.
Really? Oh, shit. I did not know that. That's epic. So I just knew that as a director, writer, he was able to create that. And then knowing that I was going to, I was producing it, directing, writing it, and acting in it, I was like, oh, you know what? Cool. I'll save more time. And because, if I get ideas, I kind of move pretty quick as it is. Like, oh, you know what? I just had this idea. Let me see if this could happen. It's weird as a producer, writer mindset. Like, it's very hard to... it was very hard to sometimes like separate the two. Like I just had to write it and not try to limit myself, like just write it. If the story calls for it, write it and not worry about the producing aspects to it. And that was kind of like something I was starting to discover in this, right? I discovered a lot about myself in the writing process. And even till this day, even as I'm continuing to read story development books, it just continues to bring out more and more layers into this story, and just kind of help me discover things and my influences and more into my feelings and why I feel about this way. But yeah, that was my whole development process. But I don't recommend it either. Like something, I told myself I knew as high as I love to aim, I know there's always going to be something to learn from. And one of the things I learned from, in this case, was my ambition. It could be it could be a good thing or a bad thing, but trying to shoot it in 3 days, that's why I did the 3 cameras, right? Like, cool, I know I could, it's 22 pages. And then on the 3rd day we had a COVID scare, so we had to stop production. So like the extras in the bar, that added more. It was very difficult as a indie producer to shoot this during COVID. Was hell. It was so much stress for me. But I got it done. We were able to pick up production in late January and finish. And I got to learn from the whole experience. I got to see what could be fleshed out more. Mm-hmm. But I for one thought I could learn salsa dancing in 3 weeks. No, that's not the case. But now I still continue the process. I still train at DeSeo Studios. My co-star, shout out to Serena, Cuevas, the owner of the Sales Studios in Old Time Mall. So I'll be a guest bartender actually there if you guys plug in. September 23rd, Friday, September 23rd at the Sales Studios. I'm guest bartending at her dance social. So if you guys want to go some salsa and bachata dancing,
yes, send me the info.
We are live, Mi Gente show, live across all platforms, facebook.com/2mburrito, youtube.com/2mburrito, twitch.tv/2mburrito. If you are tuning in, leave a like, give us a sub, a follow, etc. Leave a comment, helps us out. And if you have any questions for myself, Sophia, or Mr. Edwin Franco about his movie or about life in general,
I have a question for you. Where did the 2 a.m. burrito, where did that come from? Is it like late nights from like the club bar and let's go get a burrito? Because that was me at one point. So I was curious.
Hit the nail on the head on that one.
This is I'm having Kurt do a song for me that's going to be like closing time. You know the song Closing Time? But it's story time, because it's anytime I have to tell a story that I've told a million times on the podcast, I'm going to play that. But no, the short answer to that is it's a time and a place. I'm from New York, Queens. Obviously, I'm Colombian and Uruguayan, but I've been adopted as a Mexican.
I see the flags behind you. I noticed that too.
Yeah.
But when we were out here first, we used to play poker a lot, go to the casinos, go out and stuff. And the crew and I would always be like 1:45. I'd be like, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go get a burrito. Let's go home. And so that was, and it's a uniquely San Diego thing. At 2 a.m. you get a burrito. If you get off on Dairy Mart, you go down to the Rigoberto's a little bit down the block right there and come back up. If you're on 8, you go to whatever. It was always that. So we did it so much that my friend Anthony started making fun about me about it. So he'd be like, we'd be playing poker at like 1 a.m. He'd be like, hey Lou, and he has a lisp, and he'd be like, hey Lou, the taco shop is getting worried. You haven't put in your order yet. The burrito, they got the carne asada set aside for you. They're waiting for the 2 a.m. burrito crew. So he would just all the time make the same joke over and over again. So when we started the production company, I was like, let's go like View Askew, like something just silly. Just like a silly name.
Please tell me you've included like a trademark, like there's got to be burrito in each of your films. Please tell me there's a burrito.
Yeah, there's definitely burritos. We definitely have that.
Because I was definitely going to showcase California burrito in the feature film for sure. I'm trying to make it, I'm telling you, I'm trying to make it San Diego. Yeah. Like, and not to be on the nose, right? Like people, if they're going to like ask these questions, like especially people on the East Coast, they don't know what a California burrito is, you know what I mean? So I'm excited to hopefully show that, bring California burritos to the world.
What's your geography? Are you from San Diego, born and raised, or
born and raised San Diego? Yep. My dad was Navy, Puerto Rican and Mexican. My dad was Navy. That's how he ended up out here. And my mom is I'm first generation Mexican on her side. She came here legally at one point and then got her papers or through my dad, I guess. So.
Just because Just because you mentioned that, I have to play this for you guys. This is a shout out to Buck and the homegirl Kay that did this for us back in the day. It's 43 seconds. We'll be right back. Check this out, Edwin.
You know what the weirdest thing about Europe, though, was just the little things.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Like, you know what they call a California burrito in Paris?
Don't they just call it a California burrito?
Nah, man. It's Europe. I don't know shit about California.
Okay, so what do they call it?
A burrito royale.
A burrito royale, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't it still just a California burrito with French fries?
Don't even get me started on the French fries.
Okay.
We did that as just like a throwaway joke when we were filming a 48 once, and I just always kept it.
Wait, I gotta know, what's your guys' favorite spots for California burritos?
Jeez.
I mean, it's almost like people have right. That's the thing about San Diego. People don't have like their favorite taco shop. They have their favorite for burritos. They have their favorite place for tostadas, for tacos, etc. For California, Definitely not Lolita. Definitely not Lucitas because it's just like or Lolitas because it's just a French fry burrito. Definitely a place that doesn't give you too many French fries that do it like that, and definitely not a place that's by a high school that's used to ripping off junior high schoolers.
Hey, I lived off of that in middle school. Okay, don't knock it. The carne asada fries are the only reason why I'm here today.
Yeah, but so it kind of Castañedas back in the day, like in would be before. Oh no, actually they got changed to a Castañedas. It used to be a Santana's in North Park. I think that was the place we used to go to. Santana's. That was the joint back in the day. What about you, Sophia?
Don't at me, don't shame me. I have not had a burrito, like a California burrito, in years.
Okay,
in years.
We just teed you.
I go to TJ. I go to TJ and I
we
get
just
Mexican
teed you up
food,
to promote
it.
your own restaurant, dummy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Casa del Taco. National City, Sweetwater Road, everybody. There's better food though. I'm just saying the California burrito is great, but like there's real Mexican food in Guadalajara, you know, Cocina de Mexico. So really good. Yeah, I had mole today from there. I eat there daily. Again, that's why I'm alive. Casa del Taco, Sweetwater Road, National City, you guys.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Super Sergio's for me. That's like one of my go-to spots.
Super Sergio's
on National on Sweetwater Road in National
Oh,
City.
dude, that's right next door of Casa del Taco. Right there.
Is it? Oh shit.
Yeah,
we're neighbors.
Casa del Taco.
I'm gonna throw Super Sergio's under the bus real quick because they come eat lunch at Casa del Taco. I'm just saying their workers step out of Super Sergio's and physically go to my restaurant to eat food. Just saying.
So just take those extra couple of steps, get out your car, and go to Original Casa del Taco is what Sophia is saying next time. If you're in the Sweetwater area.
It's a good plug-in.
We're talking burritos. Roberto's on El Cajon.
Okay, Roberto's. I used to end up drunk there all the time. Yes.
But like I said, it's a time and a place. If we were in LA, it might be hot dogs, or it might be whatever LA is whatever the food of the week is. In New York, it'd be a slice of pizza. In TJ, it's tacos or hot dogs wrapped in bacon, etc. So that's my answer to that. Edwin seems to have turned the table on us. He's the one started asking.
Sorry,
We gotta wrestle control back.
Let's go back.
No, dude, I did. And I think I talked to you briefly during the festival last year, but I've never really connected with you. So just being able to talk to you and hear how you talk about film and stuff, like I said, I'm impressed with your hustle and how you've been able to take your experiences in other genres to make a successful run at improving that. You have a lot of ambition. You're shooting on a tight schedule, forcing yourself to write under dire straits. You're going 3 cameras. Which has got to be, it's got to be tough for lighting and for your editors and stuff like that. So you're being very ambitious out there. I
gotta. That's all well.
I'm enjoying that. Yeah. I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying getting to know that.
Yeah, like with the cameras, they all have their sign. Like it's so easy. Like with the narrative, narrative's so easy for me, honestly, because in the sense of being able to, line a script and write the shots, I just pretty much had the edit down for the editors. There's no way they can mess it up. And they're artists too, but for the most part, it's like if I know, wait, this 2A1, or I forgot what I labeled the shot as. If I know this shot was specifically for an intimate moment to show emphasis, when I drop what is fuego to the character, like this is the money shots you should have, and then your backup shots. But everything is in pre-pro. It's just, I love what David was saying. He was so right about the stories we're trying to tell today. And as long as you show, bring that lens, right? What makes you unique? What makes you, how do you bring your background and your culture into the stories you're trying to tell? And I love what he said, because it's so true. Like my background. So I started off as a dancer, hip hop dancer. Then I got into acting. And then from acting, I've been trying to I always want to act for film. I love performing for the camera, but here in San Diego, there wasn't many opportunities for actors. So I that journey alone to look for gigs was a was a process. But luckily, the minute I found that one gig off Craigslist where I played a stereotypical, like, I believe it or not, I played the cholo too. It was my first role. It was like my first role. And I was proud. I'm proud of that role because I was able to use that and get a lot more work. But then, and then shout out to Siggy Babonis. He was the first person that started. He was the first person to start like just sending me auditions. Like, hey, you know what? There's this audition here and this audition here. And I got cast for a lead role at UCSD under Jen Rubin and Jen Rubin. I still keep in contact with her. She actually shot the poster. This photo is her.
Oh, wow.
She shot the poster. So she was on my film set, but she casted me in her film. And that's what opened my eyes to film production in schools. And I was like, oh, you know what? I never thought about film production. But, you know, like I didn't register until the following semester when I was trying to keep myself busy as an actor, not knowing I was producing content. You know, like I'm a networker as it is. So here I am, like just bringing, you know, having locations and bringing actors together. All I needed was filmmakers to bring my ideas to life or their ideas. I just like, oh, cool. All right, we have an idea. Let's do it. All right, I'll get the locations. I'll set the time. I'll get the actors. I didn't know I was producing. I was just trying to keep myself busy as an actor. And little by little, I started realizing like, how come I don't have as much control as a director as I thought I would? You know, who has the full control, creative control? And I decided to just go back to film. I had more ideas, and then those filmmakers that I would network with were just busy, and I decided to go back to college. You know, like I started at Southwestern Community College for theater and took a big break. I did all the theater classes, but I just wasn't passionate about the GEs or my college reading level was pretty low. So I had to take a bunch of prerequisites to get to the GEs I needed to transfer to university. And I just took like a 5-year break. And when I came back and discovered film production, like I wanted to show my counselor I was serious about film production. And she just started giving me a list of classes, and I did the classes, loved them, and then did the work just to show, like, just to bring my grades up, right, for the associate's degree. And next, when she saw my grades go up, she started setting me up to go to CSUN, California State Northridge. And I thought, like, why there? Why not San Diego State University, where a lot of my friends went? You know, so I had all these questions, and I started, like, you know, being ambitious and passionate, like, oh, where do the top filmmakers go that are as passionate as me? And then I started, you know, USC kept coming up number one. And I was like, I took a tour there, and I just was blown away. I'm like, damn, if I didn't mess up my, if I didn't like fuck around in high school, I could have went here. But then the lowest GPA they take there, there's no minimum GPA. They'll admit you based on how consistent you are with your grades. So the presenter was saying the lowest they've admitted was a 2.78. And that was because the person they admitted, he had a bad start in school, just like me. And then, however, that person joined the military. And then when he came back, he started getting all A's. And I was like, oh, man, it sounds like me. I came back to college to pursue film, but I'm getting A's and B's. I got to try harder. And at the time, my GPA was getting close to 3.0. And sure enough, man, like I just worked at it. I had this USC keychain to remind me of what I was working towards, even through when I had my doubts. And I got in, and the rest is history.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sophia, did you have anything else for Edwin as we hear his
my life story? I know we never get to talk, so
yeah, I'm learning so much. I was actually going to ask, what did you major in USC? But you just answered that question. Man, all right. And how long was that process of transferring and everything?
You know what? I didn't realize. I think people could transfer sooner if they want. They just if they transfer sooner, then they would have to complete the GEs that are required. But in my head, I thought like I needed to complete all the GEs before I transfer and take their classes. But I took, so I have an AS from Southwestern, Associate's Science degree from Southwestern College in film. And then I decided but it was a transfer degree. So I decided to finish the remaining GEs at Los Angeles City College in 2015 and kind of like just network and get out there, right? And meet people. And sure enough, I networked on a lot of USC film sets, just asking a bunch of students questions about their personal statements and even showed up. It's so interesting how like life works sometimes, but just asking just asking people just like what they did to get in, and I just remember one professor I just happened to stumble across. He told me, be very specific why you want to go to USC. Like everybody wants to go here because it's the top film school in the world, but specifically, why do you want to go here? And that kind of gave like, okay, if I can't say that, why do I want to go here? How do I show that I really want to go here, and how pursuing film kind of like changed my life, you know, like for the better. And sure enough, that got me in. I believe so. So yeah, they saw something in me before I did, because like I honestly like I felt like I wasn't still at their level at the time. That was me at the time. Today, like, oh no, I definitely have much more confidence. But at the time, like I was still growing. However, USC saw something in me before I did. So it was nice to get in.
Oh my God.
Shout out Trojans.
Congratulations.
Right on.
Jeez, that is not an easy feat.
Hey, if I get in, I tell people all the time, if I get in, that's why I struggle to tell my siblings, like, listen, if I got in, anybody could get in, you know, like it's just a matter of how, you know, your persistence and like how, if you really want something, you'll work towards it. Right. And it's not even about school anymore. Like it's more about like, even like your goals. If you really want something, you just got to plan the steps to achieve it. Right. So, but right now, like the school is great, like for the credentials. And I definitely take advantage of that image or those credentials. But I've always been this motivated and persistent person, you know, like it's just, I've always had that drive.
It's coming across, Edwin. It's
I'm
like
impressed by your work ethic. It's insane.
Like peripherally, I've been aware of your existence locally in San Diego and some of your projects and stuff, but we never really got a chance to
I know, right?
Sit down and chat. Well, like I said, I always say, actors get to play around and go from set to set and stuff like that. But usually directors, producers have their own little universes that they're working for. Like I talked to Ian Tripp or other directors or this person or that person. And sometimes when you're at the top of your own food chain, it's hard to get with other people that are also running their own projects, you know. Plus at this level, what reminded me of what you're saying, at this level of filmmaking, the director, writer is usually the producer as well. So you are running multiple roles, you are setting up locations, you are calling in favors, you are coming out of pocket and stuff like that. So it is. And it does seem like you've taken all your skills, your history, and what makes you unique, and you've thrown that into a project that looks well produced and well planned out.
I forgot. You know what's so funny is like the question you asked. I sometimes like go off onto this whole journey of a backstory, but I was getting back to the lens. Yeah, bring that, right? So I'm bringing all of that, like dancer, actor, music video director, my love for fashion, my experience with telling stories within a brand, and then of course the call to action, right? That's also important. Like, cool. How do I want people to feel when they watch this film? And just kind of like all of that experience, right? Cool. And then it just, but yeah, it's so funny. I got into the whole backstory about film.
No, it's good. It's good. It's an interesting, you know, we're here to chat, get to know each other, etc. It's funny that you brought up the fashion thing because I didn't get a chance to do it, but I usually do a bracket bit with our guest, and your bracket, and we'll do it the next time you come on. But your bracket bit was going to be best fitted Latin celebrity. So I was going to make you choose between. I was going to make you choose between two Latin celebrities and which one dresses the best. But
we do that stuff.
We're going. Hold on, let me fill one out real quick. I didn't have enough time today to fill that out.
Yeah.
But like I said, man, your passion comes through. Your energy comes through. From what we've been able to hear from you, it's been very evident that you are somebody who has taken steps and is bringing a lot of passion into the work. Fuego, if you will. It seems to be a very good representation of yourself as a filmmaker. So I look forward to seeing it once we get that private link, or at the festival next year if you're going to make us wait.
I submitted for the festival.
Early bird deadline is tomorrow for SDLFF, the 30th day. So you're in there. So actually, You don't even need to give me a link because I'm a curator. I can go right on Film Freeway and I can watch
There you
it myself.
go.
And I can watch it
Exactly.
myself.
Use your power,
I
Lou.
was trying to hint you. I was trying
Yeah,
to hint
yeah,
that.
yeah,
You,
yeah. I
you have
know.
access to it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
access.
I can watch it right now. I'm just saying. I'll pull it out, bootleg that. I'm just kidding.
I'll be here for San Diego premiere. Like I was hoping it got into the San Diego International Film Festival. I was really having. I had high hopes for it. That would have been like I would have been very happy, but it didn't get in. So
I have a rant later on about festivals.
I will talk about it private because I feel you.
No. I mean, anyway, it's
I feel you. Trust me. I'll tell you how many I've submitted to, and it's
well, I was a curator, an official curator last year, and seeing how the sausage is made really made me appreciate how difficult it is because I had to make tough decisions on films that I thought were good, but you got the X amount of screens. They're like, your showcase can only be 90 minutes. And I'm sitting there looking at my showcase. It's 132 minutes. And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to cut these movies? Yeah. So you try to find movies that'll fit like it's a comedy, but it's also women driven. So will it fit in Las Mujeres showcase? Yeah. And then Las Mujeres curator is like, nah, I'm already cutting movies.
Yeah. I felt that. I definitely felt that. Like,
no, my rant is more, and I know that Terry Ross is a great person here in San Diego. She's a great filmmaker, but the San Diego Movie Awards is a money grab. I'm just gonna say it. SDMA, San Diego Money Grabs is a money grab, and I'll tell you very specifically why. It's a quarterly film festival when it is impossible to make a film festival. I've been in part of a film festival that's yearly and see how much hard work is put into doing a yearly film festival. To think that you can do that 4 times a year is ridiculous. So when you see a festival, festival and they say award of excellence, award of prestige, award of merit, honorable mention, grand jury awards, this is literally a pay for laurels situation. I'm going to show you one other thing. I'm going to show you this right now. I'm on Film Freeway. I'm not under my festival account. I'm under my own account. This is another way that you know something is a ripoff or a money grab. When you try to submit to San Diego Latino Film Festival, it's down here, I believe. San Diego Latino Film Festival. Early bird is tomorrow. I hit submit now. $10 to submit a feature. This is the 30th anniversary of one of the most prestigious Latino film festivals in the country. $10 early bird. All right.
I took advantage.
For a quarterly festival, festival that's 4 times a year, it's costing you $30 to submit. Not only is it costing you $30 to submit, but let's say you have a dramatic comedy that has a dramatic short film that has some child actors in it, right? So guess what you're going to do? You're going to submit to best drama short, $30. Oh, does it have LBTGQ? They have that back. LBTGQ.
What?
They got the order wrong. All right, let's say it's also a sci-fi. Oh, wow. $30. Oh, is it a student film? $30. Do you want it to be up for best trailer? $30. Would you like it to be up for best feature? $30. Would you like it to be up for best screenplay?
Yeah.
$30. Would you like it to be up for best? Yeah. So anytime a film festival is asking you to submit extra money to be in extra categories, it is a money grab. So I'm letting. I know that they had an event at MOPA in San Diego, and people went out. And I know that there's also the San Diego Film Awards and San Diego Film Week, et cetera, et cetera. Look, San Diego's saturated. San Diego Movie Awards, San Diego International, San Diego Film Awards,
there's a
Entertainment
Pacific Beach
Awards.
One. And did you know there's a Chula Vista one too?
Italian, Latino, San Francisco, Filipino Film Festival, Underwater, Surf. So, unfortunately, there's an entire industry based on taking money from filmmakers.
100.
And as much as I respect Terry as a teacher and as a filmmaker, as a colleague, this is a money grab. So avoid that festival. You're just gonna get it's just pay for laurels.
I agree. I learned the with the documentary. Like when I gave advice to my boy Johnny, like, man, we need to, we're sitting on this episode. Let's market it in the film festival route, right? And so I got to see I got to learn just by his submissions, like which film festivals were all about it. The great ones like San Diego Latino Film Festival, I love. Like it was a great. That set the bar for him. Like it set the bar for me, especially as a filmmaker. Like how much they look out for Latinos, right? So I knew that was my audience. I knew I was going to focus on Latino film festivals for sure. And then of course looking for dance film festivals and what else was I looking for?
You got to find your niche, and you got to find your audience, and don't spend your money on Sundance or other shit like that. You're not getting into it anyway. It's not happening.
Yeah, I had my first, like when I got my first rejection, and it was from like a film festival. It was like Beverly. Was it Beverly Hills? It was like some Beverly. I think it was the Grove, and I was thinking like, oh, I don't want it to be the world premiere here, but like let me submit because I'm eager to start letting the world see this because the goal is to find an audience to start getting my name out there for, right? For film festivals. And when I got rejected from first one, I'm like, oh damn, that was kind of like a reality check, and it started like giving me doubts, like what the hell, like. Was this not good enough? Like, so little by little, luckily the right ones that I believe that would get in, I got in. And then ones that I was hoping for, like I was hoping for the San Diego International Film Festival. That would have been my San Diego premiere. I was eager for that one. And however, now, there is another San Diego one I submitted for. But not the San Diego Movie Awards. I don't do the quarterly ones. I don't do the
Film Week.
Film Week. I did submit to Film Week. I was just that was an Oceanside. Somebody's the Oceanside one to San Diego Latino.
Shout out Sterling, who runs that. Sterling Ammo runs Oceanside.
So
I think but getting to see how a legit festival runs it, crystallize it. As a filmmaker, what you should avoid. You should look for your niche, look for your audience, and always reach out and always ask for a waiver. SD Latino has like if you ask for a waiver, you get one, and look out for money grabs, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of things that the young filmmakers need to look out for. So look out for Mr. Edwin Frank Ortiz.
Yes.
Soon to be on your big screen, either dancing in an Adidas commercial or as a directed by, starring in, music by. You never know when this cat's going to show up.
I used to work for Adidas. You know that, right?
Yeah. As well, that's why.
That's why it's a good. I was like, oh, he's very observant because I rock Adidas. That's like my go-to brand.
Yeah, when you were like, hey, I run, I was gonna throw it in there. I was like, in your Adidas.
It's a break dance in my Adidas too.
When I go jogging, in my Adidas. But yeah, man, Edwin, thank you very much for coming on, brother. Thank you for coming in a little early.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Hey, well, let's continue that fashion segment because I wanted to.
No, yeah. Tell you what, we got Hispanic Heritage Week month starting, and we got some guests booked, But before, in a little bit of time, we'll just have you come on, or we're always on Thursday, so you can always just pop on, and I'll have it ready for you, so that if you decide to pop on an episode, we can knock it out. How about that?
Will do. Cool beans.
All right,
brother. Thank you for having me on. Thank you. Nice meeting you, Sophia.
Thank you. Nice meeting you as well.
Brother, it was a pleasure to finally kind of talk to you. Let's catch up. Let's grab a drink or coffee soon.
And burrito.
And a burrito. And a burrito. All right, brother.
All right, brother. Talk to you later.
All right, Edwin. Well, we have Mr. Edwin Frank
Yes, Frank O.
Stopping by.
In his Adidas.
Allegedly.
Oh, that was great. I want to see the film. I'm like anxious. I like want to see it really badly.
Oh, I forgot to show him the original 2 a.m. burrito.
Oh, yeah.
The original.
The OG. Yeah, the OG.
The OG burrito. FYI. That's him. Okay.
All right.
Shit. I'm all right. Double guest, but like I said, if I can make it through the other night, which was one of the hottest nights of my entire life, I can make it through pretty much everything.
Oh my god, I'm fucking glad you survived that one.
Yeah,
that is torture.
So how about
the babies okay? Are they recovering?
Dude, that was the worst part. Is that speak of the babies? This dude was going through it. He's got a full coat. Obviously, he was stressed out. they're not used to just pitch dark. So even though I had some candles up, it was still pretty much pitch dark. And anytime since everybody was walking because nobody could sleep because it was just a hot, still, no wind, horrible day. So anytime somebody would get up and move around, they would start barking because they couldn't see anything. I would take a cold ass shower, put on a brand new t-shirt, and try to jump into bed and try to force myself to go to sleep. And I would immediately start to sweat through the shirt. And then
oh my God.
I would doze off, and then all of a sudden the dogs would be barking and I'd be up again and I'd be like, fuck. So yeah, we were up waiting to see if it would get fixed till like 3. And then when we realized it wasn't happening, because we kept getting all these fucked up updates from SDG&E. And the thing is, it was only 14 houses that were affected, and there were other outages that were like 400 houses and stuff like that. So we just kind of felt like they weren't really taking us seriously.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Maybe this side, so my eye line's a little bit better. Sorry.
Okay. Now
Is it yours? That's right. So eventually, I was able, like I said, I slept for a little bit, got up, still no power. Fed the dogs, went to go charge all my stuff at La Bobby's house, and then came back. And the next night I was actually fine because it was back. But anyway, we made it through that. If we can make it there, we can make it anywhere.
Yes.
Again, reminding everybody, tomorrow is the deadline for San Diego Latino Film Festival. I'm gonna let's make this more official here. Hey, hold on a second.
Send me a message.
All right, hold on. So I can cut this as a promo. And tomorrow is the early bird deadline for the San Diego Latino Film Festival 30th anniversary, 30th year. It's going to be a monster festival. Mm-hmm. There's a bunch of films that are coming out that we want to there's a bunch of stuff that's going to be coming out. Hopefully we'll have some 30th anniversary stuff, some films. I'm reaching out to filmmakers. But if you have any films, your message says I'm pooping down there.
What?
No, never mind. My conversation. Nobody saw that. Don't worry about it. Hopefully not.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. Okay,
yeah. So anyway,
I thought you were doing a promo. You want?
No, early bird. No, because sometimes it's on Facebook. This is Facebook. Yeah. So let's let me see. Let me get
want to do tape 3?
No, not tape 3. The problem is there's a couple of things I've been trimming the fat here. So the problem is that there's a couple of things that are really topical. So let me just knock those out.
Okay.
And then we'll get out of here. I can save these other stuff. I want to really redo my film rant next week. We can cut all this out as I push things over to episode 19. We've done 18 episodes.
Whoa, really?
Because when on my tab it says on my tabs I move it over to the next page. Okay.
Can't believe that.
Influencer mocked for tone deaf TikTok on Skid Row. Does that interest you at all, Sophia? Not really. All right.
Not really. Commentaries. What a dick.
No, she drove through LA in a Tesla and posted that she was crying and she couldn't get out.
That gives me the CEO that cried for letting people go vibes.
Yeah, absolutely. Republican Latinas running in Texas blast Democrats' treatment of Hispanic voters. We'll save that one.
That one's going to be a long talk, so save it for next.
Let's save that. Let's see. This went viral. This was a cool one. This was 10 seconds.
Hey, you did it. Mommy? Yeah. Table sandwich.
Oh my God.
He got off the bus to remind her that the sandwich was really, really bad.
Yeah. No.
Terrible sandwich. Yeah, just a reminder that not everybody is mourning the queen dying. This I'll link this before. I'll link this to you, and maybe we can touch on it next week. But an incomplete list of British crimes across the world under the reign of Elizabeth II. Kenya in 1952. There's a Bloody Sunday massacre. 14 people killed in a civilian. Iraq. Bunch of shit. You know, look, do your research in terms of what's been happening under Queen Elizabeth's reign. So it's weird that TV is doing the whole like they mourn, and they even did a moment of silence. You know they did a moment of silence for the fucking Queen of England at the tonight was opening kickoff for football. And before a national football American football game, they did a moment of silence for the Queen of England.
I mean, they're like our number one allies, and it is the end of an era with her dying. It just signifies that. So it's all pageantry, sadly. But yeah, the reality of it is who gives a fuck, right?
Yeah.
Man.
This is Irish TikTok.
Oh my God.
They're literally dancing to another one. Yeah, so apparently like Irish TikTok and black TikTok were going crazy with the memes and the hatred. So
my friend just landed in Ireland, so I actually have to talk to her. I want her to give me
just after if people are celebrating.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask him and be like, "What's the vibe over there?"
What is the vibe? All right, Steve Bannon is in custody, which we can talk about at another time. He's under custody for the New York with 2 charges of money laundering. Now they're using this as a rally cry for them, but the funny part is that he got in trouble for scamming MAGA people out of money because they were saying they were building a wall, but they were embezzling the money. So they were asking people, "We're going to build a wall ourselves," and now they're still defending him. He was taking your money, dummies.
That's how psychotic they are. Oh my God.
Like they're going after him. Yeah, they're going after him because you're stupid and you sent him money and he didn't use it and he never built a wall.
Yeah.
What's this guy's name? Brendan Fraser.
Oh yeah. What about
gets a 6-minute standing ovation for his movie The Whale.
I've heard about it.
Yeah.
Good? Why good?
Apparently he got a 6-minute standing ovation and he plays like a so we'll save this one. This will stick. This will stay because it's kind of deals with fat phobia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. This dog is sad about the choice he made.
He's like, fuck my life. Oh my God.
I changed my mind.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
We can never skip the palate cleansers.
If Honey did that, she would bite me and then still eat the treats. Mama.
All right. This guy.
Sorry.
So
we're on day 25 of our 30-day intimacy challenge.
This couple did a 30-day. Are you familiar with these intimacy challenges where couples have to have sex every day for like 30 days or
no?
To sort of see if it builds intimacy up then. All right, so this couple posted a TikTok of day 25. Just pay attention to the guy.
Day 25 of our 30-day intimacy challenge, and
his face.
Do a little check-in. Personally, it helped me pursue know more. I just think that becoming a mom, it can be all-encompassing, and it really helped me put my relationship back in the place.
He's miserable.
He's like, I am so tired of that nuts.
Straight people are so weird.
He is drained.
Yeah,
he's got like 0 boys swimming around right now.
Divorce at that point. He's just like, why did I get myself into this?
Look at him.
This has to be a parody. There's no way.
Yeah, there's got to be something wrong with him, right?
I think it's a parody. There's no way.
Okay, I don't know. It might. It's still funny that face he was making back there. It seems true. It seems true. Too true to be good.
Sounds like something a white lady would do. Yes.
Sounds like something a white lady. Did you know Japan has a whole segment of people that Her whole job is just they have an entire department that just picks up stuff that people leave in the subways.
No. I did not know that.
So they pick up sometimes 2,000 lost items a day.
Oh whoa.
And they're sorted by where they're found. They're sorted by color. If you leave like a lunchbox, if you leave a fucking lunchbox, they clean it out. They dump the food out. Look, somebody left a bottle of champagne. They wrap it up.
What? I'm moving to Japan.
Lunch boxes are clean to prevent odor. So this guy left his lunchbox. So they're gonna clean out the lunch. They clean it.
Oh my God, these people are angels.
Then they put it back, and then they put it there, and then you can go back to the place and say, "I left my stuff there."
Oh my God, these humans.
Yeah.
Protect them at all costs.
Yeah, I lost my umbrella. They say they get a bunch of umbrellas on rainy days. Another reason, that's another reason to move to Japan, right there.
Let's go.
I would like to go to Japan. I don't know if that I would come back.
How's the rent over there? Let's do it.
It's probably pretty.
Probably not great. Yeah.
Probably not right. Megan Thee Stallion and She-Hulk. That's been talked about. Did you see that? No, you haven't seen She-Hulk, have you?
No, I haven't.
We'll save that. All right, this is a good one. You'll like this one. This is a.
Where's the clitoris? What?
They just obviously it's an edit, but it's just funny that these are
my God.
These are the guys that we're gonna right. But then I saw this video. Yeah, then I saw, and this is the vid. They have videos of them training and doing like, and they're like getting ready for. I don't know. They're like cosplaying. Like, look, all right, then we go like this to the side.
Oh my God, these men.
And then some this.
Okay, everyone.
I saw this video though.
Please, quiet coyotes. I think we're all ready. We're all ready for the big event. So it's gonna be navy blue tops and khaki bottoms. If you're wearing jeans, don't bother showing up because if we don't match, it's not gonna be scary. If I see a bunch of people wearing khakis, then it's scary. But if it's a bunch of people wearing khakis and Fred wearing jeans, they're not going to be scared. Now, the aesthetic we're going for is Ku Klux Klan, bitch, but it's at Best Buy. You feel me? So we really need to lean into that aesthetic because that's what we've committed to, Fred. Furthermore, I saw the cutest little clear serving platters. They're like big clear plates at the Dollar Tree. And I went ahead and picked a bunch of those up. And I taped a little handle on the back, so we'll all have the cutest little skewers. They're not actually good for protecting anything, but they do make us look like little
scary,
like little soldiers. It's also important that everyone be wearing a mask. And I know I get it, we hate masks, but this is for our physical protection more than anything else. It's going to be a really bright day, and I'm sorry, but a lot of us are a little pale. So safety first. That skin's got to be covered up, and sunglasses too. What else? Heath, if you could bring that drum that you bought for your son, and if you could just hit it at random moments, I think we did a good job, you guys. I think it's going to be very successful. I think we're going to look cute as fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you have knee pads, I think you should probably wear them.
Why do we need knee pads?
Just in case.
Just in case of what?
No, just in case.
I love this guy. I love him. Oh my God.
I think that's got like 3. I love that video.
That's how you fight ignorance.
Comedy. Yeah. I think it's is that the guy's name? Andrew McCarran? Okay. Somebody. Anyway, that I found that video, so that was worth it. Yeah. That was funny as that was fucking funny as that's the way you do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way you do it. All right, these will keep.
The cute as fuck.
I just saw this while we were doing this. So,
no.
Oh, look at him. He's trying to get it in there, but he can't.
Oh my God. What? Oh no, he's a failure to his species.
He can't get it. It's not his.
Can't get it in.
He can't get it hard. He's like, all right, come on. We can get it.
We can do it.
We can do this. He's pushing rope. He's pushing rope.
He's really trying.
He's really trying. You gotta. He's trying, man. At least he's trying. No se le paró. He couldn't keep it. Right. I'm gonna skip all these old white guy TikToks that I found because those will keep the Civil Wars. The Civil Wars next week. The Civil War is not happening right away.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just get off on that. All right. The one thing I did want us to talk about before we do get out of here, the No Namez Wei. It looks like, all right, we'll save the Falklands too. I wanted us to watch this video, but
let's do it.
Oversimplified. Do you like them?
I love them. Yes, I'm subscribed to their YouTube channel.
Should we do it or should I save it?
Save it. Do we have it? Well, it depends. Do we have any No Namez Weis?
Yeah, we have 3.
Okay.
3.
If we're gonna do this, let's just head into it.
Hold on a second. I still have to, and then we're saving the Rob Schneider thing that you had brought up.
Yeah.
Okay, that'll keep. This one will also keep. This one will also keep. There was well, we can do that next week. We can do a little bit more about all the Lord of the Rings hate.
We're cutting all. Oh yeah, we're cutting all of this out from the audio, right?
What, the audio?
Yeah, this part is what I mean.
Depends. Yeah, I can cut this part out.
Okay. 240. What?
I don't know.
You're like, we're cutting it off. Might as well just.
I was just like, do something goofy. No. No, we still have a live audience. They might tune in and out. They're like, why the hell are you guys doing this? All right. 241. All right, let me save this one.
Hi, Anthony.
Save.
Oh my gosh! Wait, I need to watch this like in full. I love.
No, that's why I had it. It's a short one. That's why I was like,
let's do it.
All right, because that's why I was like, just so I don't want to come back to Queen stuff. So anyway, the first thing that I showed was.
Wait, before you continue, it's a 10-day ceremony. You do know that, right? He's gonna King Charles is gonna do a speech tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like 10 days of mourning and stuff like that.
10 days of mourning. They don't fucking bury her until I don't know which day. So yes, we will get back to this.
Well, we did talk a little bit about the Argentinian versus. Okay, then yeah, you're right. Yeah. If we don't, then I'll save it. Then fine. All right. Don't watch it on your own. Then that way we can watch it.
Okay.
That way we can react to it.
Okay.
The new J.K. Rowling bottle. This was one of yours. We can save that. That's not going away. All right. So the one thing that I did want us to follow up with is the whole Olivia Wilde, Chris Pine thing at Venice with Pew. So quick. Let me just write the timestamp when we got back to normal here, when we had to cut out because we were dilly-daddling. 2:42. All right. All right. So the one thing I did want us to touch on is the Olivia Wilde thing. Okay, here's the catch up on that for people that don't get it. Explain your thread on the Olivia Wilde, Harry Styles, Florence Pugh situation. So Olivia Wilde hired Shia LaBeouf, as you saw in our intro. He got fired from the movie, but he's not fired from our intro because he got a good positive message about just do it. He gets hired to be the husband Jack in the movie Don't Worry, Darling. Florence Pugh is cast to play the wife. The movie's going to have several sex scenes. Shia is infamously, well, I don't know if he is. I mean, he's been accused of being creepy. He's getting sued by his ex, et cetera, et cetera. He gets replaced by Harry Styles. Unfortunately, Harry Styles is fucking Olivia Wilde while she is cheating on her fiance. Allegedly, she's cheating on who's also in our intro music.
Oh my god, I know.
Sudeikis. It's funny, right? We got Sudeikis and Shia in the video while she's making the movie. So apparently there was some PA drama. Some PAs were dropping subliminal. She was saying this, and then they're like, "Oh, she was working on this movie." So she was saying there was a lot of conflict because it seemed like Olivia was not really taking much time to direct and was not really doing her job well because probably she was fucking Harry Styles. And who could blame her, right?
Who could blame her?
Who could blame her? And then the hot take from Hollywood was like, wait till you figure, like, so what you're saying is that a director dropped their longtime companion to be with the hot young starlet on their movie.
We've never heard that story.
That's like the director.
Never happened.
That is literally the entire reason you become a director, is so that you can dump your wife for a hot starlet. That's the whole reason you get. That's why you do it. That's the dream. That's the dream. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. I feel it.
It's 2.5 hours in. I can drop my misogyny. My misogyny.
Oh yeah, you're right. You do get it. One misogyny card 3 hours in. 2 hours.
Yeah. That's I use my played it. So she is off the movie. Olivia makes it seem like she fired him.
Mm-hmm.
Was like, yes, Shia was problematic.
Shia.
I wanted to girl about Shia. I know she's right here. He's problematic. I fired him to protect the Pew, right? Florence. Mm-hmm. And then Shia drops the video that everybody's seen, which is that we played last week, which is Olivia driving, talking about Miss Flo. Meanwhile, Florence's entire team, like her stylists, are now wearing T-shirts that say Miss Flo on them.
Oh,
so they are 100% dropping. She is 100% sending shade her way. So Olivia, Shia walks off. Olivia's message to him leaks, or he shows it to her, where she calls her Miss Flo, and she says if she's really gonna like be a big girl and get to work, I really want to make this happen. It doesn't. They replace Shia with, I think, Harry Styles. Nick Kroll's always in this movie. Chris Pine's in this movie somehow. They start getting into it, and then the press tour happens. They go to Venice Film Festival. Florence Pugh, clearly irritated with the wild line about keeping her safe, declines to say anything nice. She doesn't say anything about it. She's filming Dune Part 2, and she uses that as an excuse. She does not show up for the press conference. She shows up for the screening, leaves halfway through the standing ovation. She skips the press conference. Meanwhile, the whole time, her team is wearing shirts that say Team Flo, and she's doing like Instagram stuff, but she's not doing any press. Meanwhile, in Venice, Harry doesn't want to be next to Olivia in the pictures that they're taking. He goes out of his way to kiss Nick Kroll, but when they're taking the pictures, he doesn't do it. Chris Pine becomes a meme because every interview that he's doing next to Harry Styles, and he's just like over it. This is Harry Styles talking.
A film movie. You know, my favorite thing about the movie is like it feels like a movie. It feels like a real go to the theater.
That feels like a movie.
Where he blinks right afterward is my favorite.
It feels like a real go to the theater film movie that
just like what?
It's the reason why you go to watch something on the big screen. I think my favorite.
So this favorite part, Harry Styles' favorite part about the movie is that. So this
feels like a movie.
So this is Chris Pine during the entire the press tour. He's just not there for it, right?
Oh my god.
I
love this. This is chaos.
So this is the standing ovation.
Aww.
She's not even making cut. She's not even looking over there.
No, she is not.
She's like, should I look at my director, my co-stars, for 2 seconds? No. And then she's like, all right, let's wrap this shit up. I think this is where she's like, all right, let's go. And then the tradition is like when she leaves, everybody has to leave. Which
I didn't catch her leaving, but she left after that.
Yeah, she left after that. So side note, how long are you gonna like? Sometimes these standing ovations go a little too hard. Like 6 minutes. I don't know. Like I saw somebody that was like, it could be like a documentary about like myself, and I wouldn't clap for more than like a minute. You know, like how long is this? How long is too long for some of these things? You know?
Yeah, I mean, is that good? Sheesh. I got.
So she didn't go to the press conference, but she had time to like post this.
She is loving this drama.
Yeah. Anyway.
And spoiling.
So this is so that's
yeah.
it.
What's Jason up to? What's little Jason up to?
So then this is an edited version of the original video. But then this video drops of Harry Styles, and somebody added this, but let me see if they have the original here. And Harry Styles was sitting next to Chris Pine, and then when he stopped by him, he looked like he was spitting on him. So then they made this edit where, and then Chris Pine made that look like, and then they just sat there and then he made a joke, but it looked like everybody was like, did he spit on him? Did Harry Styles spit on it? Yeah. Right. And so they just added the Velociraptor,
okay. But face. my thing is, why are they making him sit in between Harry Styles and Olivia? Like, we know y'all are together. Why are you ruining his poor life, Chris Pine?
Because well, the other rumor that started going around was that why wasn't Harry? But the thing is, like, even in photo ops, Harry Styles was refusing to stand next to her. So when they were doing pictures, he wouldn't. The publicists were like, stand next to her, and they wouldn't. He wouldn't. He would say no. So the other rumor was that maybe the other rumor is that maybe they're broken up.
Oh, that's awkward. We date throughout the movie and we break up before the press tour.
So here's the other angle on the alleged spitting. You can see Styles pulling up. And then Chris Pine looks down. Right? So that's when people started speculating, like,
nah.
Here. Yeah, you see it?
I don't see anything. No, there's
it's
nothing.
more like he just went like this, and then he looked down. So that's kind of what
I don't know. He maybe stepped on his toe. I don't know, but definitely.
And then somebody was like, "Hey, we need this angle."
Yeah, exactly.
Whoever this is, that's who that is.
But here's the thing: if they were broken up, I wouldn't have had my ex sitting 2 seats down. Like, I would have put him like farther, maybe down maybe like 5 seats down. I don't know. So I think they're still together. I think they're just going about this like, let's not take.
Meanwhile, Harry Styles look
too happy.
Was back on concert, and he literally was like, "Yeah, I just got back from Venice where I spit on Chris Pine." So they're all steering into it. So.
I saw no spit, but yeah, they are. I think I don't think for publicity. I do think that partially is probably all true and people are actually mad at each other. But I think that they are milking it because at the end of the day, I really want to fucking watch this movie now.
Right. Yeah.
Don't you?
I mean, I do. I mean, the other, well, I'm over my quota for misogynistic takes for the day, but I was going to say,
yeah. No, you've got one.
Florence Pugh is like a mid, maybe. I don't know. Is there like a nice way to say that? I understand she's talented, but it's not like she doesn't feel like superstarish to me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think she's like drop dead gorgeous.
I think it's a lot to do with aesthetic, and I think right now, like if you go on her Instagram, like her aesthetic is like top notch. So I think she is very overrated. I agree is what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's like it's not the hottest of hot takes, but it's just like, is it okay? Can we have that? We're not ready to have that conversation.
Yeah. Well, it's presentation and looks are everything.
She's stylish. She's definitely talented. I love Midsommar. I think she was good in the the Marvel movie that she did. So she's definitely a talented actress, but I was just like, it's not like, oh my God. And then some of it were, some of the takes that I saw was like, man, I swear you guys be inventing new white people every day. Who the fuck is Florence Pugh?
Yeah. For real.
Yes, what is this? Who is this mid-white girl?
That was me. I was like, I'm supposed to care about her. Oh my God, where? And then Midsummer. I was like, oh, gotcha. Oh, that one. Okay. Yeah, she's good. She's a good actress, but yeah, no, I get you. I think it has a lot to do with aesthetics, honestly.
This is your king now. This is your king now in England.
For oldest king in the freaking books. Wouldn't you hate living a life where like they're constantly like telling you what to do because you're gonna be king someday, and maybe tomorrow do shit, restrictions, and then like you're fucking, how old is he? Like 70 something? Yeah. Now I get to be king. That sucks.
Yeah, we're gonna save this one too, because one of the things I did want to talk about was like people freaking out about the Lord of the Rings shows and there being like black hobbits. Meanwhile, there's a list of things. There's a list of characters that were changed that people didn't give a fuck about. Like Tyrion was supposed to be like horrible. He was supposed to like have half a nose.
Yeah, really disgusting. Yeah.
Really disgusting. Like the imp was supposed to be like the imp. Now then you turn him into like he's just a good looking actor's type.
He's a hot
All right, and let me see what I had here. That is all done. Confession time. We'll save this one as well. So we talked a little bit about. Let me close these all out. We talked a little bit about figuring out if we wanted to work on to watch the new Game of Thrones show.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that I was making a little bit about it because I thought.
Did you do it?
Well, there was no power, so that was the weekend I was supposed to do it, and it was I couldn't think about anything. Like a lot of my circuits got crossed, and it literally took me a couple of days to feel normal again and not have PTSD. Every time I would flick a light switch, I would think like I had PTSD about this stream because it's going to be so hot. I'm going to be, like I was like, I could turn off this light, but I can keep that light on. Like it was bad. So no, but I am going to do that this week. But in thinking about the idea of doing a sketch about somebody thinking about watching the show and having PTSD from having seen the show, I actually started thinking, and we talked about it last week, that maybe we should let go of some of that anger. And then today, what did we learn on today's show? We learned a lot actually today. About trauma, about going through trauma, exercising it, blah, blah, and how relationships with our parents. We talked a lot about our dads today. It was kind of an emotional roller coaster of a show. So as I was writing the sketch and as we talked about the fact that we should kind of take it easy on ourselves, don't feel so bad about, don't take it so seriously that the show ending sucked. We were pissed, but
you're going to take into this, yes.
Yeah, we shouldn't take it out on a brand new cast of characters. And as I wrote the sketch, I did have YouTube had like a free HBO Max preview for like 3 days, YouTube TV, and I did watch, and I'll have the video for us for next week. But I did watch the first 3 episodes of House of the Dragon. I did jump back in. I did go back to the abusive X, so to speak. Not that
now you have to wait for me.
Yeah, I can wait. I can wait. I won't. We don't have to talk about it. But I do want to confess that I did break down and did watch it, and I will wait for you to catch up to do our reviews. But I was able to get through the 3 episodes. I'll say that.
Okay, no spoilies.
No, there's nothing really spoily.
No emotions. I don't want emotion. I want.
You don't want nothing. You want nothing. You don't want to know anything about how I feel. All right, I will respect that. I will not say anything.
No smiles, no frowns, nothing. I want to watch it. I really,
Watch it. We'll talk about
it together. You said we were gonna watch the first episode.
No, I said we should at least record ourselves. So I did. So I watched it on my computer. And I did a private, a non-streaming stream, and I recorded myself as I watched. So what I'll do is I'm going to have a version of the video, and there's only a couple of key points where I reacted, and then I'll edit that and I'll share it at some point. But it came but I just wanted to kind of just to do a time lapse to see how I was like, because I kind of want to see if I perked up at any point in the show, or if there were certain, you know what I mean. So well, it'll be an interesting experiment just for that. But we won't talk about it until after you are caught up. Well, we should probably just wait till after the first season is done.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds good. All right, let's wrap this up.
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei. No Namez.
All right.
All right. Oh, actually, hold on. One more.
No. Yahweh.
It's Halloween time.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
This guy has a dance contest with Michael Myers.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Myers getting it.
Oh, yeah.
Don't worry, they're short No Namez Wei questions.
Huh?
Huh? They're
There's
short
a lot?
questions.
Oh,
No, they're
there's
short
short.
questions. Yeah, they're short. You'll be okay. It's spooky season. We have to get into the spookiness.
We gotta do once we do our Halloween episode, we gotta dress up a little.
He's like, all right, that's enough, kid. Now I must murder you. Okay, just kidding. That would have been not fun.
Stab.
All right. No Namez Wei. Let me play the video again since I made a new one.
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei. No Namez.
All right. Video games more important than sex?
No. Sorry. No. 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 No.
All right. Video games. My BF boyfriend was playing his game, parenthesis, quotation marks, a few nights ago, and I had just taken a shower and we had not connected in a few days. I walked by him in my towel post shower a few times. He didn't even flinch. I asked him to come help me in the bedroom, and he came in between games, said what, then left again.
Oh my God.
After that, I was angry. He finished and then tried to engage with me, but I denied him.
Okay.
At what point did I lose to PS5? I'm about to return it since I paid for it.
Well, okay. Here's the thing. Okay, I don't know because I don't know the context, but I know when people are cohabitating, and you know, you become so used to each other. At that point, if you have a hobby that you really enjoy doing and you're in the middle of it, whether that be video games or watching a movie or, I don't know, cooking, I don't know, doing something, you're living in your own home, right? So I don't know that I would take too much offense to them not initiating if they're busy. Now, if this is a occurrence that just happens all the time and they have been ignoring you and you have not had sex for a while, and then I would take a little more offense. But I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a difference between somebody just losing desire as a whole and not wanting to fuck you, as opposed to them wanting to fuck you when they're not busy. Whether that be PS5, you might think that's petty, but that is a hobby, right? I don't like when people interrupt me when I'm in the middle of my shows. I don't like when people interrupt me if I'm grumpy, tired, I don't know. And so I don't cohabitate with my partner, but if I did, I would imagine that I wouldn't want to have sex all of the time. At the moment, we don't cohabitate. So when we do each other, I want to fuck all the time. But I know it's different if you're cohabitating. So if he finished playing his game and then went and wanted to fuck you, I see desire there. So it's not like it's a lack of desire. It just seems like homeboy was busy. Now, obviously, to an extent, that's offensive, right? Because you were like flaunting yourself and you're putting yourself out there that when he does come over, I can understand you denying him. However, I'm seeing a lack of communication here, and I'm seeing a lack of understanding for, like, I think you feel like he's prioritizing his game over you. And you're taking it personally, very personally, like as if he didn't desire you. But if he still wanted to engage in intercourse with you after he finished his game, to me, it sounds like he just was busy. Like he was just busy. It's like if he's in the middle of a phone call something like that. Now, if it's happening a lot and he's actually showing an addiction for his PS5, and to the point where he won't engage at all and has lost all desire for you, then I would worry. Then, but if it's not, if he's still desiring you, it's just when he's not busy, then there needs to be some sort of communication that needs to be had here. But I wouldn't be too alarmed over it, I guess.
There's a video compilation. I don't know if it's TikTok or something, or it was like a challenge where girls would take a video of themselves like dropping their towel while their boyfriend was playing video games, and then to see what their reaction was, right?
Yeah.
And most of them would be like, just turn it off real quick, and like, oh, okay, it's party time, right? So I don't know if she was trying something like that, like if she was trying to be like, because if I'm cohabitating and then I'm just sitting playing, and then she's like, I just took a shower, and you're like, yeah, cool, you smell nice.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And personally, probably me too, but because I have a high sex drive, so I would do that. But I also understand that some days, maybe not. I don't know,
What was his day like? Was he playing video games all day and it was still playing at night? Then yes. But
that's
if it was
upsetting.
like, did you guys just finish eating? Did you,
If you work a full day, go eat, and then he was like, finally I get some me time. Finally I get to play.
Did you take a particularly long time in the shower where maybe he was waiting for you, but then, was he playing before you? You know what I mean? There's a lot of factors. You're right. We don't really know. But you're right. I think that the desire is probably there if you still try to initiate afterwards. I think what you're probably afraid of is that it's like, that he wants just pussy on demand, but it's like, hey, if I just want it when I want it. And either that or just, unless he's live streaming, just walk right up to him and just be like, hey, let's do this.
Yeah.
Turn that shit off.
Yeah. But I will say, devil's advocate, if you're denying him when he wants it, that's kind of what you did, what happened to you when you offered intercourse and he denied you because he wanted to play PS5. So now you guys are just playing a ping pong back and forth where someone else has a different priority. And I don't know if that's healthy. Y'all need to talk. It sounds like.
Wait for his controller battery to be really low, and then and then hide the connection, hide the cord inside your pussy.
There you go.
There you go.
Like, come get it.
And then have him like pull it out slowly. You know what I mean? And then whatever. Anyway, I don't know. That's the horrible question. So good luck. So no. Video games are not more important than sex. And I'll say one other thing. The reason I don't have a PS5 and the reason that my PS4 is no longer right next to me on my desk with my computers and TVs and stuff is because it makes me a better editor not to have it. Video games can become addicting. So like I put my PlayStation in the living room and I never use it anymore because it was too easy to stop working and then say, I'm gonna play video games and then spend 2 or 3 hours playing video games and then not get any work done. So when I'm at my desk, I don't like being playing video games. I like being editing, writing, stuff like that that's actually productive. And I have to actually make time to play video games. So it's all going to depend on your relationship, what the sex life has been like, and what his day was like. And then, don't look too into it. And then, like I said, always more and more communication, right?
Yeah. And take it all into account. Just consider everything. Because if he was playing PS5 all day and then he still denied you, then that's fucked up. That's a little over the line.
Then figure out who the person he hates playing against online is the most, and then go fuck them in revenge.
There you go.
There you go.
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei.
No Namez.
I like how we always start with great advice by you and then a horrible piece of advice by me at the end.
Right at the end, yeah.
That's right.
And also murder him.
And also murder. All right. Should I snitch? No. Okay. Moving on. No. My sister broke up with her baby daddy. They blocked each other on social media, had a pretty tumultuous breakup. There were papers involved.
Like divorce?
Huh?
Like divorce papers?
No, it says there were police papers involved. I'm assuming that means like restraining order, something like that. And they now only communicate via text to set up exchange of their kid. Okay. Recently, we realized her baby daddy had not removed me from his socials. So I was seeing posts talking shit about my sister and also about his life, new girlfriend, trips they were taking, etc. My sister figured it out and first asked me if I saw that he was dating someone, would I let her know? And I gave her that info. But now she is asking for screenshots every day and wants me to be her default spy. I want to help out my sis, but nobody got time for all of this. What should I do?
That's hard. That's hard because I mean, I would snitch. I'm just saying that if I'm there, I'd be happily the
the relayer of information.
Yes, the relayer of the cheese mate. However, it is going to get back to you regardless. I don't think that you're going to get too much heat because, I mean, you're not tied to the baby daddy at this point. But at some point, she's going to burst and be like, well, you went with your girlfriend on this trip and I saw it. And who told you? My sister. So it's a slippery slope. And at the end of the day, it's not going to turn into blocking you. Okay. So this is going to be short-lived and they're still going to have issues. So snitch or don't, I honestly don't see you being too involved in this, whether it goes well or bad. And it sounds like it's already going pretty bad. And regardless, is going to continue going downhill from here. So it sounds like they need to do a custody thing and talk on talking parents because
Yeah, I guess. I mean, what's it take to go like this and then send it, right? Like screenshots on it. It doesn't take that much. I could understand. And listen, I would set ground rules to be like, if they're on your feed, and which brings up a side question. Do you do a full family and close friends purge if you have a bad breakup? Is that like the smart move in that situation to do like a full purge of like anybody that would be saving screenshots for something else, right? Screenshots are forever, man. This is the future. Be careful what you say. So I would set up some sound goals. I'm like, look, if I see something big happening, I'll let you know, but I really don't want to be involved with it, right? Et cetera, and take it from there, right?
Yeah. And like I said, it depends. If you don't want to be involved, I think it's totally fine for you to tell your sister, hey, I don't want to be involved. This is getting messy, whatever. If you have some sort of alliance or like not alliance, I guess relationship to him, then don't do it. But
look, if they're like, hey, we're taking the fucking kids fucking shark hunting and we're using them as bait. Yeah, let her know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. At the end of the day, for you being in the middle, this is a very low reward, also low. What is the opposite of that? Like you're not gonna get in too much shit. You're the person, like it's gonna be your sister who's gonna hurt. It's gonna be him who's gonna probably get some shit from her.
Right.
So do it or don't do it. I don't see it affecting much. It seems like you already told her a little bit, so she knows kind of what he's up to, and regardless, it's gonna fuck up their co-parenting situation. So
yeah, get a fake account or something.
Yeah, there you go. She can get a fake account and tell her to make a fake account.
I gotta make a fake account. Tell her, listen, I'll let you know if something major's happened, but just get a fucking fake account like a regular person and follow them. Whatever, it's Facebook, Twitter.
I have a Finsta. I will do the screenshotting.
Hey, and she,
There you go, happily.
All right, one more and then we're out of here.
Now it's time for
No Namez Wei.
No Namez Wei.
No Namez.
All right, this one comes to us from Confused Corazoncito. Corazoncito. All right. I need advice on how to get over someone. I'm getting too old for confusing heart vibes. I am a Latina woman pushing 40. I share community projects with this man. He is my closest friend. We live in the same house with other roommates.
Oh.
I can't financially afford to move out.
Okay.
This guy knows I've had romantic feelings for him in the past. I thought I was over that part of our friendship, but recent deep conversations have kept me questioning my heart. We have a history of friendship. Oh, no, we have a history of friends with benefits, but have intentionally stopped recently to figure out what the fuck this relationship has become. It was his decision to stop sex to define this relationship. On his part, a romantic relationship isn't on the table with me. There is more to this whole situation, but you might figure out who I am.
Oh, well, there's the answer.
And then there's the eye emoji. Oh, thanks for your advice. Confused corazoncito.
Thank you. Well, there's the answer. The answer is the fact that this man already said that he does not want anything.
And she put the
let's see.
She put the face right there.
Have you figured it out? I feel like I haven't. Am I done?
No.
We haven't figured you out. Confused corazoncito. So.
No.
But okay, there was a lot in between. So I was going back and forth, but at the end it was pretty much like it's clear that he does not want anything romantic. And it seems like you have feelings. And you can't financially move out. So that is rough because you live with the person that you're trying to get over. I'm gonna sit on this one for a little bit. Do you have anything on the noggin front right now?
It strikes me as odd that maybe as a man, it would strike me as odd that if there was a friends with benefit relationship, there would have to be a whole lot going on outside for me to purposely stop having sex with somebody that was willingly having sex with me. Like I had psychotic ex-girlfriends that I was breaking up with, but that would still come over and would have sex.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to willingly say the sex has to stop so that we can define this, that doesn't seem like a move that I would make if I was interested in continuing, unless the move was like, if you're already into the guy and you guys already had a friends with benefit relationship and he stops the sex and it's his idea, it feels very. It can't be a power move. It can't be like, oh, I'm going to make her want me even more because she's already into it, right?
But I think in the message she mentioned, he stopped it with the intention of like he doesn't want to keep going. Like he doesn't. It was
his decision to stop sex to define the relationship. So let's stop fucking and see if we're just friends or if we miss the fucking or if we're a couple. I do think it's almost impossible to go back to strictly being friends if you're going to stay living together. So I think that's the most important part of that. If you live with them, you already crossed that threshold.
Also, the feelings threshold. Like the feelings are crossed, the sex is crossed. It seems like the friendship is like gone at this point, honestly. I don't know how you recover from that. But I'm more so worried about her feelings because she did mention, how do I get over him?
Right.
And there's no easy.
I'm trying to analyze him to sort of get a better idea of the situation.
It does strike me as he's not into her.
How old is he compared to you? You're a Latino woman pushing 40. Is he a younger guy? Is he an older guy? Is he just slumming it? Or is he what are his, you know what I mean? Like some that might play into the dynamic if you're both in the sort of the same situation financially. Then you're probably both better off with other partners.
I think what I'm saying is like in situations like these, usually the person that has feelings, if it's one, is the one without the power to make the decision, because it's the other person that needs to realize, do they have feelings as well? Okay, maybe we can continue and date, or I don't have feelings for you and this needs to halt. But the person that has the feelings, it's kind of like when we talk about the friend zoning situation and how, oh, should I approach them or should I just like bottle up my feelings and just continue being friends? Well, no, you can't be friends because you already have feelings. The best thing to do is tell them. If you already told him how you felt, then the ball's in his court, unfortunately. Like there's nothing you can do. Now, if he says he doesn't have feelings, then the answer would be you have to get over him. How is another question. If he says he reciprocates them, then it would be try to date. It's sounding like he doesn't reciprocate or he doesn't know that you have feelings. Now, if he doesn't reciprocate, you do have to find a way to move forward And I think no sex would be the best way to start. And
That's always
limited interaction.
that's
Like
always
just be roommates.
that's always the tough stuff. When sometimes you're in a horrible relationship, but the sex is so good, and you're like, man, we need to stop having sex. Because the rest of the relationship is so horrible, right? This is a tough one. This is a tough one. How do you get over it? I think that the only way to get over it, if you can't financially move out, is to just be clear and cut that we defined it. Number one, if he's going to define it and say, hey, listen, let's just, we already are not having sex. Let's just keep it that way. Let's just give ourselves some time and let's try to be friends again. It's very important that you don't let him all of a sudden use you for emergency if he's feeling a little randy in a couple of days. So the only way you're going to be able to get over it is if you don't let him use you strictly for sex anytime he wants.
Yeah.
If you if you let him do that, then he will continue to have control over you and the dynamic will stay the same and you'll still be confusing. So if he's like no sex, you need to be even more hardcore. No sex, and you know what? Let's not even have these deep conversations for right now. Let's take
not
some time.
watch a TV show on the couch together.
Not watching a TV show tomorrow. Don't come to me when you have your problems. Let's just take a full reset. Let's take 2-3 weeks, no contact. During those time, find some stuff to do. Go to a book club. Go to free shit. Find free stuff happening, events, things that don't cost you a lot, and get out there and just keep yourself busy. That's stupid.
Yeah.
It's boring advice, but
it is, but it's all you can do.
Don't fall back into the trap. If he said the decision no sex, then make him stick to it. And if he tries to go back and say, yeah, let's just kind of keep hanging out and let's just keep having some fun. I mean, we live together, but don't let him do that. Don't let him do that.
No, because he has the power over you right now. Especially if he doesn't have feelings and you do. That's where,
that's the power to it. The only way you can switch that dynamic and get the upper hand is to, when he comes crawling back, cut him off.
Yeah.
And guess what? If he doesn't come back, then he wasn't interested in.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But if he does, now you have the dynamic where you can say, you know what? No, you were right. Let's just stick to it because I don't want to keep figuring this out. And if we just do that, then we're just going to have to keep wondering what the fuck is going on. And so I'd rather us just stick to the decision that you made, and then we'll move forward. And then if all of a sudden he just comes to his senses that, you're God's gift, and then he's at least he's in a position where he has to woo you back. And then you will be able to tell whether or not he has any romantic intentions. So I think the move is steer into the curve. Say no to the ween for now, and keep busy. And when he walks by you, always look like you're having like a fun conversation on your phone and somebody's making you laugh.
Gotta end it on a toxic note. Bring a lot of people over. Have a lot of casual sex and very loudly. No, I'm kidding.
No. But thank you for sharing. We don't know who you are. And I appreciate you taking the time to ask unqualified podcasters for advice. So
thank you for submitting. I was not able to recognize. No idea who it is.
No. So no, you're never too old for confusing heart vibes. It's always good to figure out, It's always fun.
It's a lifetime thing.
Does that person love me? Et cetera, et cetera. All right.
Ooh.
So like I said, if I can make it through
96-degree
evening, I can make it through a 3-hour and 22-minute podcast, Sophia.
We done did it.
I'm a changed man.
2 guests.
Yeah, and then we'll see. The goal was to get David in and then us do our thing and then have you. But then it all got mixed up. We got it. We got through it. Anyway, Hispanic Heritage Week starts off next week. We're going to try to have interesting guests every week, and then we'll probably after that take a little fall break or winter break by that time, but we will still be for next while giving you guys some shows. Thank you everybody for watching. I did have want to give a shout out to Rock Candy. I met these people at Comic-Con this year. Like really cool, crispy, hot, spicy beef jerky. Shout out Raw Candy Beef Jerky for giving us some samples and giving us a shout out, giving them a shout out here on the pod. So thank you everybody for watching. Blah 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 blah.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, mi
Buenas
gente.
noches.
Buenas
Hasta
noches.
luego.
Peace out.